More than AIDS, Parkinson's, ALS, MS, and muscular dystrophy combined. Yet few know its name. Some years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and after surgery, she developed lymphedema, LE, a cruel and chronic disease affecting 10 million Americans that occurs when the lymphatic system is compromised, leaving one with a lifetime of severe swelling and pain. What we found out later is its severity might have been lessened, or possibly even prevented, if only we were better informed. That's why I'm urging anyone facing cancer treatment to get educated. Talk to your doctor. Make it part of your cancer conversation. And if you have LE, share your story. With patients and doctors working together, we can learn and live. Learn more at lymphaticnetwork.org.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks, wanna take the 8:15 into the
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome in. Busy show. I know we throw that term around loosely, but we normally do have a busy show. And this one's exceptionally busy as we welcome you in the Friday, April 12th, 2024 edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd, a cast of thousands with you today live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their spring sale continues. Factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, patio furniture, just about everything they have in stock. Check it out at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Well, I promised you a nice weekend weather-wise yesterday, because I could read a forecast as good as anybody else. And that's what we're going to get. Today, although chilly start to the day, it's only 50 degrees currently. 71 sunshine today, and I mean plenty of sunshine. Should be absolutely beautiful. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 48. Then tomorrow, sunny, 82 degrees. Sunday, sunny. A few clouds rolling in, but really a nice day at 81 degrees. And that niceness will roll right into Monday with 81 degrees as the expected high. Coming up on the program today, strap in. John Varlas at 7:25. He joins us every Friday from the Daily Memphian. At 8:05, we'll talk with the new commissioner of the American Conference, Tim Pernetti. At 9:05, or make that at 8:30, Bob Holt will join us. Bob Holt has been covering Arkansas athletics since 1981, and he'll be talking to us about John Calipari as he has taken Fayetteville by storm. At 9:05, we're going to talk about a big basketball event that's coming to the Memphis Sports and Event Center this Saturday, and we're going to be joined by a few guests and some very familiar to you. And then at about 9:30 or thereabouts, we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We will also be giving you a chance, not only during our show, but throughout the day, to win tickets to see the Grizzlies and the Lakers tonight, and the Grizzlies and the Nuggets on Sunday, which will be their final game of the season. Two great opponents in Memphis for the weekend. I know it's been a rough year for the Grizzlies, but anytime you get a chance to go and see an NBA game, and especially against the likes of LeBron and the Lakers and Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, well, that's pretty special. So we're going to give you those opportunities. That's the lineup for today. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. How are you this morning?
I am fabulous. Good to see the Masters already underway today with round one being completed. So they got beautiful weather on tap for the weekend after yesterday's issues, and they're back out there and at it early today.
Yeah, so yesterday, as everybody knows, there was the delay in the start, and they didn't finish a lot of the rounds. Some of the players got their full 18 holes in. What they did yesterday was they made the pin placements very receptible to the players, to the greatest golfers in the world, to kind of offset those treacherous winds. And we had some players go real low. Bryson DeChambeau with a 7 under 65 yesterday. Scotty Scheffler, arguably the best golfer currently in the world, a 6 under 66. Some others not as fortunate. But for Tiger Woods, who everybody's keeping an eye on, he finished 13 holes. He's playing his 14th hole now. As you just mentioned, the start is underway of day 2, finishing up round 1 and starting day number 2. He has round number 2. He has a long par putt on 14. Right now, Woods at 1 under par. So that's one of the big storylines. Walking 23 holes today for Tiger Woods. He leaves it short, so a bogey right off the bat to drop him back down to even. But again, yesterday with the pin placement, fairly easy. Today, I would imagine the pin placement will be tougher.
Yeah, I know the wind is supposed to blow today again. I don't know what it is like so far early this morning, but there was forecasted for some pretty high winds again today. Those scores yesterday by DeChambeau and Scheffler are like, that's in the winds that they had blowing. For Scotty Scheffler to not make a single bogey it's ridiculous on that golf course in those conditions. Not making a bogey. The dude is just unreal. And what DeChambeau did, 7 under in those conditions. It just, because, a lot of the guys talked about, with the way the trees are out there, and so many places out there, it's hard to even judge what the wind is actually doing because you can get completely confused by it. And when it's blowing like that, to shoot those types of rounds, just absolutely amazing stuff that these guys are doing.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch some, not as much as I wanted to, but I did see a lot of Bryson DeChambeau, and he was just on his game. He was finding fairways, and when he finds fairways, he's hitting them obviously far because that's what he does, and then he's putting it pretty close to the pin. There's going to be a lot of birdies, and that's exactly what happened. So again, action underway at Augusta, finishing up round 1, and they'll start round number 2, and hopefully they can get it all in, and we'll have a cut after today's second round of the Masters. College basketball news, it looks like, according to reports, that Kentucky is going to hire a new coach, a former player, the BYU standing coach, Mark Pope. The white smoke has gone up in Lexington, and apparently a guy with no NCAA tournament W's to his resume, 51-year-old Mark Pope, who has coached the last 5 seasons at BYU, did a very nice job with BYU this year. Prior to that, he was at Utah Valley from 2015 to 19. Scott Drew, who, when we were talking about him on the show yesterday, his family took a trip to Lexington, according to reports and all that. Well, apparently they didn't like what they saw because he said, nope, thanks, but no thanks. I'm staying in Waco, where I've been 22 years coaching Baylor. So I'm really surprised that Kentucky has gotten down to Mark Pope. Now, there's questions whether or not they really entertained Billy Donovan. Doesn't appear they talked to Bruce Pearl or went after even a Rick Pitino. They, according to reports, wanted somebody younger. Again, Pope at 51. Is fairly young, and he is a former player. But if you wanted to hire somebody that did not excite the fan base, you nailed it.
Yeah, that's this is not the type of hire that Kentucky fans expect. a former player. Certainly, I guess there is at least the connection. But it's actually funny to me that they go out and are going to hire a coach who lost to a double-digit seed in the first round of the NCAA tournament this year. After that's the big problem that they have. They're getting beat by double-digit seeds in the NCAA tournament. So, hey, let's go get a guy who lost to a double-digit seed in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, I can't imagine that when this all started and it became clear that Cal was out, that they were thinking, man, hope we can get Mark Pope.
Nobody in their right mind, whether it was a Kentucky alumni or booster or anybody, media, Joe Q public, thought that it wouldn't be a huge name. Maybe not as big a name as John Calipari, but certainly a big name with a successful track record. Again, Pope did a nice job with BYU, the move to the Big 12. They had a good, solid year. But this guy has a resume that does not include an NCAA tournament dub. And he's going to maybe the bluest of all the blue bloods when it comes to college basketball. So I don't know about this. Again, nothing official, but it appears that it's going to be
Hell, I would
Mr.
guess
Pope.
when the job came available, Mark Pope probably telling friends like, man, I would love to be able to go back to Kentucky and coach, but I have no chance to get that job.
Right. That's my dream job. But there's no chance. No chance in hell.
Maybe down the road, if I can accomplish some more, I could one day get to coach Kentucky. But lo and behold, here he is. Listen, it may very well work out great. I'm not saying it doesn't work out, but I have to imagine that the Kentucky fans, this is a bit of a rude awakening of like, wait, this is what we're hiring? Like this is the best we can do is Mark Pope. That is not what that fan base has come to expect.
Yeah, somebody had pointed out on Twitter yesterday that they certainly hope Mitch Barnhart in the introductory press conference doesn't say, he was our first choice, he was our only choice. The Pope has landed.
He was the only choice they had that coached BYU.
Yeah, I don't think fans right now, even though they were starting to become disgruntled with Cal, with recent history, I don't think right now if you said, hey, would you trade John Calipari for Mark Pope, they would accept it. There is no way they would accept that. So Arkansas's got to look like, yeah, look how we turned out. We lost a good coach in Musselman. Did some good things, really good things. But we got Cal. He's got a national championship under his belt, and you got Mark Pope. And we're Arkansas basketball, and you're Kentucky basketball.
But Kentucky fans, remember, you once had Billy Gillispie, so
Clyde.
you could do worse.
Absolutely, they can. But as far as Arkansas is concerned, like I mentioned to start the show, Bob Holt's going to join us at 8:30 to talk about the cyclone that has hit Fayetteville by the name of John Calipari. There was also some college basketball news as far as the portal and players that have decided to return. Cam Jones, the Memphian, is coming back to Marquette. He had a top 50 NBA grade, but has decided to return to play for Shaka Smart. So that may be a bit of a surprise. Wade Taylor IV from Texas A&M in the portal. Got to be one of the top names in the portal, and there's over 2,000 names in the portal.
He'd be up there. He can. He's a volume shooter, but boy, he can get hot and he can score.
Former Memphis Tiger guard Jalen Young on social media announcing he's headed to Vermont to play for the Catamounts. Is it the Catamounts? I think it is, right? And Illinois has closed an internal investigation into the sexual assault allegations against Terrence Shannon Jr. He's done, or does he still have eligibility left in college?
I don't know if he has eligibility left, but he's going to be gone.
He's going to be gone either way, but
either to jail or to the NBA.
Well, I know, but if this, we'll see where the police investigation goes. I don't know where they are with that, but as far as the internal investigation with Illinois, with the university, they're done. It's over.
The police investigator. He's just waiting for trial at this point. They've got the preliminary trial coming up in May to determine if there's enough evidence, the reason to go forward with a trial. That's so, and then he'll find out, and if they go to trial, then we'll see what happens with the NBA draft if anybody's willing to take a shot at a guy who's awaiting a trial for sexual assault.
Right, but I mean, the way things go anymore, it's probably going to be where they don't have enough evidence, and they'll drop it, and he'll be okay as far as the draft is concerned. But who knows? You never know. There was also news from the NFL. Of course, yesterday on the show, as we wrapped up things yesterday, was the breaking news, which became the biggest story of the day, and that was the passing of O.J. Simpson and reaction from his death. My gosh. I mean, it was what you thought it would be, and understandably so. Some of the people, good riddance and this and that. But then there was a couple of people that were just like head scratching in what they said. Did you read the Todd Gurley post about O.J. Simpson?
I got to be honest, didn't do much about anything with O.J. yesterday.
Well, read that post about Todd Gurley, who kind of went brain dead about O.J. Simpson in shining the accolades on the juice, if you will. Probably not the right thing to do if you want to keep people in your good graces. My gosh, the backlash at Gurley. I think I didn't read Magic. Magic had a quick post, something, but he got a bunch of grief for that. But I don't know exactly what he had said about it. So anyway, obviously that was huge yesterday. And then Tom Brady. Tom Brady was on a podcast, I believe, and said that he's not opposed to a late season NFL return. Now, he's trying to get the go-ahead from the NFL to be a part owner of the Raiders?
Yes.
I think it is. And if that is okayed, if he gets the green light, then he can't play. You can't be an owner and play. This is not Warren Beatty in that Heaven, what was that movie? Heaven Help Us, or Heaven Can Wait. That's what it was. Heaven Can Wait from the 70s, where he was, I don't know, long story short, ends up being the owner player. But that can't happen with NFL rules. However, if he's denied, he says he's going to keep himself in great shape. He'll always be in great shape. It's not like he's longing already to get out of retirement. He's going to be a part of a broadcast team as well. But said if that possibility arose, you never know. I'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. But just him throwing that out there is pretty wild, pretty ridiculous. Grizzlies tonight, as we talked about, we'll be giving away tickets today on our show, on the other shows as well throughout the day for games tonight against the Lakers and the Nuggets. But they've already closed shop on Tripp and Des Bain, and you're not going to see the stars. Brandon Clark, have they said, did Taylor Jenkins say anything about Brandon Clark the last two games? Is he done too?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't check the injury report for today, but
I thought today, where did I have it? 13 guys are out. I think it's going to be this similar situation to what you had the other night when Jake LaRavia went off in Cleveland. But definitely not Tripp. Des Bain's done. And we'll see about Clark. But really, does that matter? It's all about saying goodbye to this crazy season in the form of the Grizzlies playing against the Lakers and against the Nuggets. And you hate it that you're encouraging people to come to watch because of the opponent that the Grizzlies are playing. But it is what it is. Plus, I think on Sunday in the game against Denver, salute the guys for, and I know it's not, nobody's into moral victories, but I salute Taylor Jenkins and that coaching staff for having to juggle over 50 different starting lineups, to juggle 33 players that have been with the team, whether it be a 10-day, 10 days, the two-way guys, regular contract players, whatever the deal may be. To be able to do what they've done with that craziness is a valiant effort, to say the least. So maybe you just give them a little tip of the cap on Sunday after they play their final game against Denver.
Clark has a right hand contusion, so he's out tonight. I don't know what that means for Sunday. don't know how contused his hand is.
You don't want the contused hand, Eli. Now, so is it 8 players, right? You have to have 8. That's the max they have, right? They have 8 players to go for the games Friday and Sunday, I believe.
Well, they had did they have 8 or 9 the other night? Whatever they had the other night, I would assume all those guys are back.
Yeah, I think
tonight.
I think it was 8. So, and again, maybe you'll see Jake LaRavia light it up again over the next couple of games, and then we wrap it up. Monday will be the exit interviews, I'm sure. And then it's all about the very important offseason for the Grizzlies.
Sunday, by the way, is Fan Appreciation Day, so they'll be giving all kinds of giveaways and stuff at the game on Sunday, and that's a 2:30 in the afternoon game. The NBA, all the teams play tonight. Nobody plays tomorrow. Everybody plays on Sunday. Sunday, if the East Coast games or all the Eastern Conference games basically start at noon, all the Western Conference games start at 2:30.
I like that. I like that a lot.
They do it over this final weekend of the regular season. Again, we do have tickets. I'll give away a pair right now. The early bird gets the worm, as they like to say. Or they get Lakers tickets. Either one, whatever you do it. I've got a pair of tickets for tonight's game, Grizzlies and the Lakers. Lakers now in a 3-way tie for 8, 9, and 10. So an important game for them as they try and improve their position. Sacramento, Golden State, Lakers, all with the exact same record going into this final couple of games for 8, with 8, 9, and 10 on the line there. 2 tickets for tonight's game between the Grizzlies and the Lakers. Caller number 5. Caller number 5, 360-8255. Caller number 5 at 360-8255. 2 tickets for the Lakers and the Grizzlies tonight down at FedEx Forum. All you got to do is be caller number 5 to win those tickets. Guns, guns, and more guns. That's what you'll find at Classic Arms of Memphis, located on Germantown Parkway, 1740 Germantown Parkway. It's right behind Corky's. They're on Germantown Parkway. That's where you'll find UTJ, the entire gang, where you can go check out all the different guns they have, and they've got basically everything you can find in the world of guns. They've got new guns. They've got used guns. They buy, sell, trade. They do everything. So if you're looking to get rid of a gun, you can take it there. If you're looking for a gun for home defense, hunting, whatever it might be, well, they can take care of you. They got all the top brand names, guaranteed lowest price in town. They're the only gun importer in the Mid-South. They do free inspections. They do free appraisals. They do it all at Classic Arms. Again, at 1740 Germantown Parkway. It's in the shopping center right behind Corky's on Germantown Parkway. You can also shop online 24/7 at classicarmsofmemphis.com. That's classicarmsofmemphis.com for everything guns. Go see the folks at Classic Arms.
We do have our winner for the tickets for the Grizzlies and the Lakers. Again, we'll be giving away more tickets, and tickets throughout the day we'll be giving away here on Sports 56.
Giving away tickets every hour throughout the day.
On the ones and the twos. Real quick before we take a break, John Varlas joins us on the other side. A funny Gaston gambling story. And again, I kind of just dabble in this thing. I don't bet big money or anything. But Keon Ellis is a guy who intrigues me. He plays for the Sacramento Kings. He played at the University of Tennessee. I don't think he was drafted. I don't know where he came from, but I know he's the former Tennessee ball. So Sunday, he's had some really good games and some really big three-point shooting games. You talk about a guy that's hot and cold, and you talk about a guy like myself who's missed on him. Just in the last 3 games, I played Keon Ellis, the over-under, on Sunday. Last Sunday, I think it was. He was 7.5. I thought, oh, my gosh. I mean, he's been scoring 18, 16. So I played him. They played against the Nets. He scored 6. So lost that bet. Did not play him on Tuesday. Tuesday, the over-under was 8.5. He scored 26 points against the Thunder. Did not play that one. Last night, he played against the Pelicans. The over-under 8.5. I had to jump all over that one. The guy's coming off a 26-point game. 5 points. 5 points, and he didn't even shoot the ball that much. I don't get it. Gambling stuff. When we come back, John Varlas. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. I can see some volume developing over here now on 240 eastbound. Guess where? Right there near Poplar, just like it has for the last few weeks. Again, that's already starting to build, and sometimes that can affect that traffic coming off Bill Morris Parkway 385 there onto 240. Now, it's still shut down over there. It looks like it's going to be for a while with this police investigation that's going on at Shelby Drive there at Horn Lake Road. Again, try to avoid that general area if you can for quite some time. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. Is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:26 is the time on a beautiful Friday. The weekend just about upon us. It'll be a busy sports weekend, which will include the Masters Golf Tournament from Augusta. Right now, our show includes John Varlas.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas of the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and much more at dailymemphian.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis, where the pros and preps go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the Daily Memphian, award-winning prep reporter, but so much more. He's John Varlas. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. He joins us every Friday. He is brought to you by the great folks at Shoot 360 Memphis. Good morning.
Good morning. How about that opener? Isn't that really cool?
It is, isn't it?
I think I'm going to record that and like just play it to myself when I'm feeling depressed. I really like that, and I'm really thankful to the gang at Shoot 360 for coming on board and sponsoring this segment. They're a great group of guys, great company. Travel ball season here is about to start up for basketball. So if you're a mom or a dad or, an athlete, with a mom or a dad, and you want to get your shot working, they've got all the technology. They break down your mechanics. They tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and they can get your shot better. I will almost guarantee that they can do that. So yeah, give them a call, 901-316-5500. They're in Collierville, 85 Market Street, and soon to be in Cordova, right, Greg? Is that understanding?
Yes, there's going to be a huge facility, like 3 or 4 times the size, and it's already, as you know, a big facility in Collierville.
It's wonderful. It's like a big giant video game in there. It's all it is. It's all high tech stuff. It's numbers. It's like it's charts. It's percentages, arc. All that thing to get your shot better. They're the experts. They can explain it to you a lot better than I can. But I do know that they can get you get you right when it comes to shooting a basketball.
All right, John. We were talking before we went on air during the break, and I said, "What you got a bone to pick because that's your new thing, right?
Yeah.
That's your shtick." And you go, "I don't know about a bone to pick this week."
Yeah, it's been a pretty sanguine week. I've been hanging around the house a little bit more than usual this week, so it's been kind of quiet on the bone front.
So your wife may have a bone to pick.
Well, she perhaps might, but yeah, you never know there. But no, it's been a good week. I can't complain, but I understand from Eli here that there's some bones that want to be picked with me. So
we have a text here.
We'll do it a little differently
that
this week.
I think probably speaks for a lot of people.
Okay.
From Raider Corey, who says he has a friendly bone to pick with you. Some people might not be as friendly, but it is a bone nonetheless. So last Friday, I was tuning in to my favorite morning show as usual when a convincing John Varlas predicted that G.G. Jackson would easily score 30 points versus the Pistons.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
All of his points made really good sense since the Grizzlies were only playing 8 guys. So I put a little coin on the plus 550 odds. Nothing major. I didn't bet my mortgage or anything, but G.G. didn't even get 30 combined points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, he did not.
He said, that's my bone, but I don't hold grudges. So
I'm with Corey, by the way. I put money on it, too.
Defend yourself and your handicapping abilities last week when you said he would get, I think you said 50 instead of 15. He got 15, but you said 50 last week.
Said he could get 50.
I think you said he would get 50.
I think I did. Raider Corey's right. Last week I dipped my toe into the handicapping waters, and it, it's a treacherous swim out there.
You drowned.
There's a lot of gators.
I did. But, as always, you have to bet responsibly, and I tell you what's even worse. I saw Greg, the following Saturday at the 901 FC game, and he was giving me a bit of a hard time because that pick was so wrong. So I tried to give him another one to get right.
Would you give G.G. the next night when he scored like 18?
No, I told him I had a good feeling that Alabama would beat Connecticut, and there you saw how that went.
So, did not believe that one though.
So a little bit of a dry spell there on the picks, but Raider Corey, Greg, all you guys, they always remember your misses. They don't remember your hits, do they? So I say bet responsibly, and again.
And by being responsible, mean don't take his tips.
Right.
Well,
I thought the rationale was great. Like Corey said, I thought
there was a lot that made sense about it.
Made a lot of sense. It just didn't happen.
It made sense. It lost dollars.
And I was listening to that game too on the radio, and the way it was unfolding, it was just driving me nuts because Malzinho Pereira's taking shots, Scottie Pippen Jr.'s taking shots. Everybody's taking shots. Everybody's missing shots, and they're sharing the ball like the Showtime Lakers, and everybody's getting in on the action, and they're taking points away from G.G. Jackson, and it's
well, his over-under I think was 21 and a half for the game, and he went into the fourth quarter I think with 15. So I thought at least you might be able to say at least he got over his total, but then he didn't score in the fourth quarter.
Well, speaking of the Showtime Lakers, they're in town tonight. You want to double down on G.G. Jackson against the Lakers tonight?
I'm tempted. Again, somebody's got to score, but I know I'm unless unless I have a much better feeling on it, I'm going to refrain from prognosticating on the air. Raider Corey's not the only one. There was a.
Oh, I'm telling you, he speaks for a lot of people, I'm sure. I mean, you had the people believing in you last week.
Yeah.
You came again. There's a lot that made sense about it. You came very believable, and then you just again.
It's our fault for believing in a guy who doesn't gamble himself.
You could have just claimed. I didn't say 50. I said 15. I don't know what you guys must have misunderstood me.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was interesting, but no, gambling is hard, and I mean, if these people out there trying to make a living at it, I don't see how you can possibly live that way. It's too stressful. I mean, I feel bad that that I told you guys to do something wrong.
It's okay.
I know, but my point is there's guys that do this for a living, and they have literally hundreds and thousands of people relying on their every word, and
they miss too,
and then they miss probably 45% of the time, right?
I'm sure there are a lot of other people that would like to text in, but they lost their phone with their house and everything else, so they can't even text in. So they're just hopefully they still have a radio that they're listening to the show.
I hear you. I appreciate you, Raider Corey. You're on your own tonight. Everybody's on their own tonight. You just do the best you can. It's the end of the season. I wouldn't even hesitate to. I wouldn't even begin to think what kind of lineups are going to be out there tonight and tomorrow night in these NBA games. I mean, there's no telling what can. I mean, Kenneth Lofton Jr. scored 40 points in a game at one time.
He had a good game last night.
Did he, Lofton Jr.? Yeah. I don't know. I'm. You're on your own.
Are
this
you
week.
retiring?
I'm not.
The last weekend
I'm not retiring. You're just on your own this week.
The last weekend of the NBA season can bring some interesting stuff. Trying to handicap the last couple of games of the NBA season, especially in the ones that don't matter. That's a treat.
It really can. You got Malachi Flynn scoring 50 points in a game. I think he's averaging like 5 points a game. It's all kinds of weird stuff.
John, what's your greatest memory of O.J. Simpson? No, I'm kidding. So
I do have a funny O.J. Simpson story.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't relate to him.
Because when you think O.J., you think funny.
Not really. It's just an interesting story.
What you got?
It's just some insight into me and how I grew up. So O.J. Simpson, as you know, Greg and Eli, was like the most popular person probably in the country, right? At that time.
Certainly one of them.
Early 70s.
Yep.
And he had you could buy out of the Sears catalog, you could buy like this O.J. Simpson action figure. It was, it was like a doll, but it was like an action figure. Mm-hmm. And he was dressed up in a uniform.
Knife included?
A blue number 32 on it. It came with a headband and a little football and some other things. And I got one for Christmas, and it was like one of the things that I really, really wanted for Christmas more than anything. I was probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years old maybe. I really, really wanted it for Christmas. I was so happy to get it. Later on Christmas afternoon, my brother gets mad at me over something. He takes the thing, he takes the doll, he chucks it at me, throws it at me as hard as he can. I duck, but it hits the wall behind me and just breaks into a million pieces. And
foreshadow.
That's
That's your.
Clearly, your brother had some prognostications about what OJ would turn out to be.
Exactly. I had a Joe Namath one.
Yeah.
You remember the Joe Namath one? It came with a fur coat and everything.
I don't remember that specifically, but it doesn't surprise me that was out there. But yeah, that's my O.J. Simpson story.
Yeah, it's yesterday it broke right when we were wrapping up our show.
The phrase "complicated legacy" was invented for O.J. Simpson.
Well, I talked about writing. One of my book reports was about O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
I read his book. Watched him when he was the first to rush for 2,000 yards in a season, was a Heisman winner at USC, and then started to cross over into television and doing movies, and watched him. I mean, I loved O.J. Simpson. God bless.
I saw a guy on Twitter yesterday trying to relate O.J. Simpson's popularity to the current generation, and the comparison he came up with was Shaquille O'Neal, an athlete that accomplished everything, but then kind of transferred into this beloved figure that, like you say, Greg, was in entertainment, television. Everybody loves Shaq. This guy, hey, Shaq. Big, cool guy that everybody likes. It's Shaq. So I thought it was a really, really good comparison. Just imagine what it would be like if suddenly Shaquille O'Neal was implicated in murdering two people. It would be just
You know what's weird?
mind-blowing story.
You know what's weird?
I thought it was a really good comparison.
Yeah, you bring up Shaq because it's a great comparison. Because I have said on the air about Shaq, I go, that's the one guy I would least expect to get into trouble. You know, he's still like a big kid.
Yeah,
so that would be one that would shock me. But again, of course, what OJ did shocked everybody. But yeah, your point is well taken. But there are a few of those crossovers now. He was like the first I can remember that really, and then there wasn't one for a while after that. OJ was the guy. He was the guy.
Yeah, just gregarious, outgoing. You know, on TV everywhere. You know, in the movies. You know that movie with Leslie Nielsen.
Naked Gun.
And then you know there was the famous comment too. You know, which gets into, you know, kind of controversial areas that I'm not going to get into. But, you know, at one point he said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And, you know, in a sense that was true because, you know, people just thought of him as OJ. Just people thought of him as this cool guy that was just kind of omnipresent and always around. And
he bridged the gap.
Everybody liked him. And then that happened. And, you know, the rest is history. But yeah, it's you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna, you know, comment on his innocence or his guilt. I think what I think, and you think what you think. But yeah, no, we
all think he's guilty.
Well, you know, it is what it is. And
I mean, everybody thinks he's guilty.
It is what it is, and he's no longer with us, and you know that's where it is right now. But
all right. Prep wise, what's happening?
Well, we had a story posted on the Daily Memphian. I think we were the only people to report this, but tomorrow, Houston Track Classic, the biggest meet in the state of Tennessee, a regular season meet. Obviously, the state championship meet is bigger, but the biggest regular season meet, over 50 schools, over 1,000 athletes have already registered. Got teams coming in from all the best teams in Memphis, public, private, you know, city, suburban. Got Oxford High Schools coming in, teams from the region, and as part of the event, special attraction this year, the fourth fastest man in the history of track and field, in the history of the 100-meter dash, Asafa Powell from Jamaica, gold medal winner, will be on hand tomorrow at Houston from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I think they're going to have a little booth set up for him. He's going to sign autographs, take pictures. It's free. It's sponsored. He's a Puma athlete, and Puma has ties with the meet, so it's free. You can come shake hands with Asafa Powell, take pictures, get an autograph. You know, maybe you know, get him to tell a story about his career or whatever. I mean, it's just a tremendous thing. I mean, and you know, you relating it, this would be like if you were putting on a basketball tournament and you brought, you know, Dwayne Wade or somebody of that caliber in there. Asafa Powell is about as big as it gets in the world of track. Former world record holder in the 100, 9.77 seconds. You know, won a gold medal for Jamaica in the relay in the Olympics. World champion. Just a super accomplished athlete. He'll be at Houston tomorrow, and you know, and along with Asafa Powell, you know, the very best athletes from Shelby County are going to be out there doing their thing too. So it starts at 10 o'clock. The running events start at 10 o'clock. Asafa Powell will be there from 10:30 to 12:30. It should be a really, really fun day.
When did he win gold? What Olympic?
I believe it was 2006-ish.
Okay.
Because he set the world record in 2005. You know, it's just incredible. He 97 times he ran the 100 meters in competition under 10 seconds. So just remarkably fast and also remarkably consistent. And I mean, you know, this guy's done everything in the world of track and field you can think of.
Did you see the story the other day? I had it on yesterday, I think, on our program, that the governing body of track and field now is going to give the medal winners money. Along with the medals, you win gold, you win $50,000. You win whatever it is for silver and bronze. So now these track and field athletes are being paid. Now, I know it's a different world with the Olympics. We have professional athletes. The NBA guys are coming in. They really don't need any more coin. But I imagine that in the future, all these athletes that are victorious or place in the top three will be rewarded. Some countries already reward their athletes, but I'm talking about an overall thing from the Olympics through the governing bodies of each sport. So that's pretty cool for the track and field athletes.
Yeah, and you're old enough, Greg, to remember back in the day when some of these countries would reward your gold medal by allowing you to continue to
live
and compete. So from that perspective, $50,000 is a nice prize, but no, I mean, I'm just really excited. I mean, this is such a great thing for the Memphis Track Classic. Talking to Scott Hamlet this week, the coach out there at Houston, he and his army that put this event together. The opportunity came up for them to get an athlete out there, and Scott was joking around. He's like, "Well, can we get Usain Bolt?" And it's like, "Well, not this year, but man, they got a really, really nice consolation prize. I mean, Asafa Powell is big in track.
It's not chopped liver, I'll tell you that much.
It's pretty cool that he'll be at a high school meet here in Memphis.
He won gold in 2016.
2016. Wow, that's not that long ago. So more of a, I think more maybe where some of these young track and field athletes can relate to that name. We're not going back to Bob Beeman or anything like that. So that'll be a great event. We'll talk more about the preps and other things with John in our second segment with JV. That'll be coming up in just a moment. Do want to tell you folks about Corky's Ribs and Barbecue for lunch, for dinner. This weekend's a great time. It's always a great time for Corky's. Their delicious slow smoke barbecue. They've been serving that up for 4 decades, and they have catered that long. So if you got something coming up, maybe the event itself, the track and field event, maybe they want to have a little Corky's out there. So Corky's will give you those opportunities. All you have to do is call them up, no matter how big that group may be, how large that group may be, or small that group may be. Corky's can cater those events. They're located at Poplar Avenue in Memphis. They're out in Collierville on Poplar Avenue, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. And again, you can reserve their private party room at either the Cordova or the Olive Branch locations. Little birthday party, anniversary party, graduation party, little get-together. You want to have it at their private party room, just call up Cordova or Olive Branch, those 2 locations of Corky's. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
Replace your worn-out brakes and save now on Brake Best Select. Brake Best Select Pro are import direct brake pads and rotors only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Grizz Nation, don't miss the Grizzlies' last regular season home game. Win tickets to see the Grizzlies versus the Nuggets April 14th at 2:30 p.m. for fan appreciation. All fans will receive a Grizzlies poster and have the chance to win Grizz gear and more every hour on the hour, courtesy of the Memphis Grizzlies and Sports 56.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So baby, dry your eyes.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 1, talking with John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. His segment is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. All right, you mentioned the big track and field meet. Anything else of note as far as spring sports?
Nothing right now that's really standing out. I mean, we're in the middle of the season. This week's actually, Greg, been really quiet because of all the rain. There hasn't been a lot of stuff this week because of the weather, and that's the risk you run during the spring. But the Daily Memphian team is going to be out at Briarcrest tonight. We're going to be on assignment. Talking to those two talented pitchers we told you about, Finn Waters and Jack Gleason, the Briarcrest pair. I've already got your headline. Briarcrest has a pair of aces this year.
Nice.
So we'll be out there talking to them and seeing what they're up to. And we're clicking along. Spring fling will be here before you know it, and then the school year will be here before you know it. The year really, really goes by fast. But this week, no pun intended, has really been kind of a wash because of the weather.
Another sport you cover for the Daily Memphian is Memphis 901 FC. They'll play in Loudoun, Virginia tomorrow. They have lost 3 in a row after winning their opener, and they've only scored, if I'm correct on this, 3 goals in 4 games. Why the issues with the ineptness on offense?
Well, I don't. It's hard. I don't hate to say it, call it ineptness, because I think they're getting opportunities, Greg. It's just a matter of, in soccer, you got to finish those opportunities when you get into position to score. I know I'm kind of simplifying it here, but you got to take those chances. And I really like what Coach Glass had to say after the last game. We talk about all the time how it's a long season. There's no time to panic, and he said that's true. But at some point, you got to start winning games and picking up points. Losing 3 matches in a row is not not something that anybody's happy about. And yes, it is a long season, but they need to start picking up points. And I think they've got a good opportunity to do that this week in Virginia. Then they'll have a cup match Wednesday against this team from Miami, which is really interesting. Did you see
the
that story?
Thing? Yeah, what's going on with that?
Well, apparently, and I haven't. I just saw it reported on Twitter, and not through any reputable sources like the Miami Herald or any of the soccer websites or anything like that. But apparently these guys, this is a basic. So this is the Cup. So any team in the country can enter the U.S. Open Cup. So basically, this is a team full of amateurs down there in Miami. I guess policemen and whoever, just guys out there. They got a team together, amateur soccer team. But they went into a casino down there in Florida, the last match, and they put a little coin on themselves because they liked the odds. They were the underdogs. They liked the odds. They put a little coin on themselves. Maybe something Raider Corey should consider doing, put money on himself. And they ended up winning the match and cashing a nice little paycheck. But
if they're not real players,
they're not professionals.
Professional players.
Yeah.
Is it illegal for them to do that?
I don't know. It's murky. It's a gray area, but it's certainly questionable, I guess. But
questionable.
They bet on themselves. They bet on themselves, and they did win. So anyway, those guys from Miami are going to be in here Wednesday night. I don't know what they plan to do in terms of the line on this match or anything like that. But
they're going down to Tunica for a while. So I would imagine.
But the team they beat was a real professional soccer team.
A
bunch of amateur guys just got together and beat this professional soccer team?
I think they beat a lower level. There's lots of levels to American soccer. 901 FC is the second level below MLS, but you go way down through the.
But I would think
you go down to firefighters and police.
But I would think I don't care.
But
I would think if you're a professional soccer player, your level is above policemen getting together on the for the hell of it and going out there and beating you. You're you should have to retire. Forget relegation. That should be retirement. You can't be a professional soccer player losing to a bunch of guys who just said, "Hey, you want to play soccer today?"
Well, in theory, but also a professional could be, you're just getting your meal money and maybe transportation costs and stuff like that paid for. Professional is not necessarily rich professional.
So that's wild. So those dudes I passed on Poplar Avenue playing over at East High School on a Sunday, those guys could put a team together and go in this thing?
Theoretically, you can because it's an open cup. So anybody, any team in the United States.
How do you get in? What do you have to do to get in?
I'm
Probably
sure
pay some kind of entry fee?
Well, you apply through the federation and things like that. Yeah.
Hey, next year, the four of us, and we'll get some other people, right?
We need 7 other guys.
Right. Lots of backups because we'll die after 1 minute running around.
At least.
So we'll do that. Real quick.
I don't play sports where I can't use my hands.
Sports 56 FC.
There you go.
Right?
We got a sponsor.
Yeah.
I mentioned last week about the rumors. You gave me kind of the evil eye about Dallin Hayden.
I just didn't know.
No,
but you were.
He's in the portal. I have no idea. All I know is wherever he goes, somebody's getting a great player and a great young man.
Better young man.
But I wonder where, because I think he has all the talent in the world.
Well, and I don't have any intel on this, but his dad, Aaron Hayden, of course, played for the University of Tennessee. Selfishly, I'd love to see him at the University of Memphis because then he'd be here in Memphis. And I think people would get a chance to appreciate him, and I think he'd get a chance to shine for the local team. But I have no idea what he's going to do. I totally support whatever he does. I'm going to be a Dallin Hayden fan regardless. And bigger picture, Greg, I think this is what the transfer portal was for. It wasn't for guys to just jump around and chase paycheck after paycheck and bag after bag. Dallin Hayden was at Ohio State. He had opportunities to play, and he did well when he played. Eventually, it just didn't work out. So now he's going to go try his luck somewhere else, and wherever he goes, they're going to, like you said, get a heck of a football player and a great guy. But in terms of using the transfer portal, I think Dallin's doing it the right way and for the right reasons. And I hope he ends up, wherever he ends up, I hope he has a great career. I just hope it's not that school up north. Michigan, Tucson.
Oh.
We call it that school up north. That's us Buckeyes. Really, we don't even refer to it as that word. We just call it that school up
Sound
north.
like my son-in-law.
Yeah,
the
anywhere but them. So go down.
That'd be if you transfer from Ohio State to Michigan. Boy, that'd be a weird thing.
I think there's been a couple of those kind of things where coaches have gone from Michigan to Ohio State, not head coaches, but Ohio State to Michigan or Michigan to Ohio State as far as assistants.
Well,
real quick, Cam Jones announcing that he's coming back. Top 50 NBA grade is what I read. And yet he's going to come back and play again for Shaka Smart.
Well, I mean, good for him. I mean, Cam Jones is a heck of a player, and his return is certainly going to should have Marquette right back in the frame again next year. For Coach Shaka Smart, I think. I think that's probably a good decision. You never know with the NBA. I mean, you never know who these guys are targeting, these European players you've never heard of. So a top 50 draft trade certainly doesn't guarantee you a spot in the NBA. And maybe with another good season at Marquette, maybe it'll be a little bit more secure for Cam.
John, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you always. Have a great weekend, and we'll see everybody out at Houston tomorrow starting at 10 o'clock. Should be a lot of fun.
This hour of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. This weekend, today through the weekend, going to be some beautiful weather, great weather to get out and do some grilling while watching the Masters. Boy, you can't get any better than that. You can't get any better than the Big Green Egg. It's the best grill there is, last grill you'll ever need to buy because it comes with a lifetime warranty. 7 different sizes they have to choose from, so however many people you're grilling for on a regular basis, there's a size egg for you, plus all the egg accessories, including their sauces and rubs and everything you need. Charcoal, they got everything. They make it all for you. BigGreenEgg.com is the website to get all the information you need. Check out all the different egg accessories they have. Plus, you can find them at the Ace Hardware locations around town, Hamilton Fireplace, and more. The Big Green Egg.
Don't forget our ticket giveaway for the Grizzlies game against the Lakers, the Grizzlies game against the Nuggets on Sunday. The Lakers game is tonight. Gave away a pair here in this first hour. We'll do it every hour. We're going to do it all day long here on Sports 56, so stay tuned for that. Also, when we come back to open up hour number 2, the new commissioner of the American Conference, Tim Pernetti, joins us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You've been having a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch. Soon you'll be having a good time at a brand new Mugshots. Mugshots Grill and Bar is opening their first Tennessee location at 656 West Poplar in Collierville, where you can try one of Mugshots' 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes and it's free, plus you get a free t-shirt. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your buddy Johnny Radio. I'm here with Mark, the owner of Dyer's, out in Collierville's historic town square, where they've been cooking up them burgers since 1912, the old-fashioned way. Mark, what's going on in life? I see you got your 4 kids with you. What do they love about Dyer's?
Man, they love everything about Dyer's. They love all the great food that we serve, and they really like eating our good food and watching some of their favorite sports.
Braden, what do you like at Dyer's?
I like a bacon burger with fries, a milkshake, and with a Tigers game in the background.
Carter, who's your favorite football team?
The Carolina Panthers, and just with some macaroni with that sounds amazing.
My man Beckham, what's your favorite food over at Dyer's?
We like the double cheeseburgers.
Kinley, what is your favorite dish over at Dyer's?
Daddy's cheeseburgers and the Dallas Cowboys game in the background.
Just remember, everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team out and eat at our place.
So head on over to Dyer's in Collierville's historic town square. Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it, East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
To slow down again over here on 240 East up by Poplar. Quick reminder, they're going to do some work starting at 8 o'clock tonight on Germantown Road there at Wolf River Bridge. Again, that should start around 8 o'clock tonight. Don't let that catch you off guard. And it could cause some problems over the weekend. It's still closed over here right now at Horn Lake Road at Shelby Drive on this police investigation. This could go on for quite some time this morning and still remain closed. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:02 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Happy Friday to you. We have Tim Pernetti, the new commissioner of the American Conference, joining us in just a moment. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 52, but it's going to heat up to 71 today. Sunshine, looks like a Chamber of Commerce day here in Memphis. 48 with clear skies tonight for a low. And then Saturday and Sunday, brilliant sunshine with the temperature reaching 80 degrees. As Mr. Announcer Man said, Hour 2 brought to you each and every day by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler at 4900 Poplar, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the University of Memphis men's and women's tennis teams, who've had both successful years, will take the court at the Leftwich Center tonight at 5 p.m. for their final home matches of the season? In fact, for the men, it's their final match before tournament play. They'll take on the Tulane Green Wave. It begins again at 5 o'clock. It is free to the public to come watch. I was over at that facility the other day for the first time, and it's been open for a while now, and it is absolutely beautiful. So take advantage of that. Watch some great tennis for the University of Memphis, the men's and women's teams both in action. Well, as promised, it is time to talk to the new commissioner of the American Conference. His name is Tim Pernetti. I'm excited because he's a fellow Jerseyan. You can follow Tim on Twitter at Tim_Pernetti. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Tim, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on the new job.
I appreciate it, and I'm happy to be here, and I just love that I continue to run into New Jersey people on the media tour here. This is excellent.
I saw your tweet. This is crazy. So, Tim, obviously from Jersey, now the American Conference Commissioner, the A-10 Commissioner from New Jersey, the Big East Commissioner from New Jersey, the Big 10 Commissioner from New Jersey, the Big 12 Commissioner from New Jersey. What is going on?
I don't know, something in the water up there. You know, it must be something. But it's really neat actually to see that trend, and it doesn't say anything about any of the that have been in these roles prior. And I worked with so many of them over my career. But it is great to see the industry thinking differently and maybe bringing fresher sets of eyes to it. And all the commissioners, like despite the New Jersey thing, which I absolutely love, they all bring a different skill set, and I think I do too. And in this day and age, as the industry is evolving and things are transforming, it's important to look at everything from different angles. To me, everyone in that group you mentioned has some private sector business experience. They've worked on various sides of the business, within college and outside. For me personally, the on-campus experience I had really changed the way I looked at college, because when you work on a campus, how, why, and who every decision impacts, and I'm hoping that's going to benefit me in my role with the American.
With your, you've had the experience on the media side, as you mentioned, you've had experience on the campus side as AD, all of this. When you're doing all this stuff, was it in your mind, was there a goal to maybe someday be a commissioner of a conference?
I won't lie and say it didn't cross my mind, several times, and at the same time, I think the only way to be really effective at what you do professionally is you have to be where your feet are. And in the recent things that I've been able to do, both at IMG Academy and Endeavor and all the things you mentioned before, it's hard. The industry is exciting. You can get distracted by other opportunities. But while it did cross my mind, I was surprised to get the call when I did, and I was excited to get it. And the more I got into it, I figured this is the right time, because as I look at my diverse experience in the industry, this is something I haven't done. And I think I can apply a lot of those experiences, something here, to do some really unique things and take some big swings.
You take over at one of the most challenging times in collegiate athletics. Let's be honest. When Mike Oresco took over, and Mike, a friend of the show, great guy, he takes over, and the big thing he was trying to bring across is, hey, we're just like those Power 5 conferences. We're a Power 6 conference. That was the mantra, and we talked to him many times about that, trying to sing the praises of the conference. Well, now, not only are you trying to do that, we continue to see division, we continue to see realignment, but we also now are in the world of the NIL, the world of the transfer portal. So there's so many things out there, Tim. And I know yesterday one of the things you said, nothing's off the table. We're going to look at every possibility, everything to strengthen the conference, to bring more financial benefits to our members. But what do you think the first couple of things are that you're going to look at, the most important things that really you're going to have to deal with as a commissioner in these trying times?
Oh, it's a long list, as you said. And it's funny, when I was an athletic director a decade ago, a lot of these things were starting to bubble up. After we got Rutgers into the Big Ten, there was talk about paying student athletes and compensation. It was just sort of bubbling up. And now you look at it, it's 11 years later, and these things they're happening as a real reality.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, I think the things on the front burner are NIL is a big one. And not only, understanding a little bit more what's happening in the space, but, I've been dealing with it in the IMG Academy environment. You have high-profile student athletes, looking to exercise the same rights, although Florida doesn't currently, permit it, which is a little crazy. But I think the challenge is, in general, that I support student athletes' ability to monetize their name, image, and likeness. Nobody was buying my jersey when I played in college, but I can understand it now, and I support it. At the same time, I'm concerned. I think student athletes are out there in an every man for himself environment without enough governance. And when I say governance, not to manage them, but to provide education and mitigate the risk, because they are out there chasing money and making deals and not necessarily concerned about or informed about the consequence of these things, what they could mean, and taxes and all the impact. So that one in particular is interesting to me. And I also think through creative partnerships where you can do things differently, is there a way to create NIL resources across the conference? And by the way, maybe not just for the top 1%. That one will be very much on the front burner for me.
One of the things that is obvious in this conference is that over the last couple of years, there's been the teams departing, including this year, SMU will be departing. So coming into a conference that's had teams departing because of the imbalance between the Power 5 and the Group of 5, what's your approach to that to try and keep this conference intact and as strong as possible?
I think transparency, it's got to start there. The one thing that is a challenge in collegiate athletics, when you're in the room, I think you're all aligned and collaborating and moving forward as an entity at certain times. And then at other times, you're competing with each other, for championships and events. And I think that's the great thing about it. I really drilled down on this question during the interview process. I harped on commitment and trying to understand the commitment of the institutions in the conference because, I know what it is perceived to be on the outside, that for some institutions, they stayed and left. For others, it's been a stopover. But I can't control that. Expansion is going to be a thing. It's going to continue. It's always going to be aligned with when media contracts are coming up and they're getting a shorter and shorter term. But the reality is all we can control is what do we do different? How do we generate more resources? How can we do things in creative partnerships? What do we do with private equity? We have to bring more resources and support in and make this a place that schools do not need to leave.
You just touched on that a little bit, but as far as new revenue streams, going down new avenues to make it financially beneficial for the schools that are in this league right now, as you said yesterday in the presser that you're thinking outside the box, you have to, right? You have to look at all different options to find more sources, more revenue streams, if you will.
You do, and nothing was saying nothing was off the table. That was part of my speech, and I see that it's stuck. And I'm glad that it did, because it is the attitude that needs to be adopted across collegiate athletics. All the things that have been done will continue, but things are changing. You're talking about student athletes being employees. You're talking about name, image, and likeness. The transfer part, it has to change. But at the same time, Mike Oresco, I've known Mike 20 years. He's the best. And I worked with him in television, and I've gotten to know him as a friend. He set a great foundation, so we have to build on that. But from there, to elevate the enterprise and the big swings I'm talking about, like there's some things that haven't been done yet, in the commercial space and with partnerships and with investors. And then from there, I think you have the resources to really take on innovation. It's not going to be easy, guys. It's going to be a huge challenge, and we may swing and miss some things, and we may hit a couple over the wall, but the chances have to be taken. There's never been a better time.
New American Athletic Conference Commissioner Tim Pernetti joining us. You mentioned Mike Oresco. He was a very outspoken, very vocal as the whole situation with the Group of Five versus the Power Five, all of those things. With where we stand with the new playoff, the expanded playoff, all of those things, what's your kind of thoughts as to where things stand as far as the postseason is in college football?
Sure. So the postseason, here's the good side of it. The CFP is expanding, and I think that's something, quite frankly, everybody was hoping for when it originated years ago. There would be a more inclusive system for the postseason of college football. But it's expanding, and it's moving to 12, which means more slots. It means more opportunities, and we continue to have access, which is great. It's very, very important for our football coaches to be able to look their student athletes in the eye and say, if we're there, we have a chance to play for the national championship. Having said that, there's 134 schools playing Division I football. It's 12 slots. There's room for more. And when I say there's room for more, I'm not saying to you guys it's taking it from 12 to 24. What I'm saying is this will always be a more exclusive opportunity. And there are a lot of institutions out there that have had a great football season, competed at the highest level, that should maybe be able to compete for a different kind of championship. Everything is additive. College football, and I'm a product of it, it is a growth sport. And for it to thrive and create the right experience for young people, it has to move forward as an entity. And when it does, it's accretive. You just continue to add more value for everyone. But what's challenging right now is it's growing, and in some cases, like the postseason, it's growing for certain people at the cost of others.
There is a call for somebody, and you could throw any kind of name, president, czar, commissioner, I don't care about the name, but that somebody kind of runs and set the rules and regulations across the board for Division I college football. Should there be somebody in that position?
I think everything is worth a look right now. Everything has changed so much that you do a disservice to the industry and to the people you represent not to look at every option to try to bring things to a more productive and inclusive place. I don't know if that's the ultimate answer. The reality is you have a lot of conferences. You have different commissioners. Mm-hmm. Conferences have their own priorities, their own DNA, their own path that they want to travel on. So could you actually find an individual that the hardest part will be building the consensus? I think the rules and putting things together and structure in the postseason, I think that's not nearly as hard as building the consensus to get everybody lined up to do something different. But it would take a truly unique, one-of-a-kind individual to be able to wrangle everyone in the room and make that happen.
We spend so much time always talking about football because that is the obvious, with the money and everything else. But from a basketball perspective, in a commissioner's seat, are there things that you can do? How can a commissioner try and improve, I guess, the level, the image of the conference in order to try and get more teams into the NCAA tournament from a conference perspective?
I think it starts with making the conference an attractive place to be. It starts with, you guys mentioned, what are you going to do, Tim, to keep people there? Well, you have to create more resources, take bigger swings, give them less of a reason to need to leave, but also make it attractive for brands on the outside to want to be part of what we're doing, because the conference sits in a sweet spot between everything else right now. And I think that gives it an opportunity. It doesn't stay there forever if you don't grow, but basketball is a hugely important component. It's funny you guys ask about football postseason and basketball. Why do we love the NCAA tournament? Because it's an inclusive opportunity where, a school from up the street where I grew up in New Jersey, Fairleigh Dickinson, can make a run last year. That's why we love the NCAA tournament. And college football needs to follow suit. I think the tournament needs to continue the conversation about expanding so long as it provides more inclusive opportunity. Expanding to make sure that certain conferences get more teams in over others, that's not the reason to do it. The reason to do it is to make sure that it continues to be what it is. It's more inclusive where anything can happen.
That was going to be my next question about expansion, because we have heard the rumors out there, and then we've read the stories about Mike Sly, one of your contemporaries now, Commissioner. Excuse me, not Mike Sly, but Greg Sankey, one of your contemporaries, right, as the commissioner of the SEC. That yes, they want to expand, but not be all inclusive. To basically give the power conferences more of their schools into the big dance. How do you go about when you meet with these commissioners? And I know you're just starting, but what is the game plan to talk about them? Because all we hear about is this breakaway, this Big Ten, SEC controlling everything. When you put your 2 cents in, what is going to be your explanation of why it should be more inclusive?
I think part of it will be what you heard yesterday. And by the way, thank you guys for sitting through, my press conference.
Sure.
But what I said was, and I believe this because it's my own personal experience, like the purity of the mission is getting out of focus, and that's what the hard part is. And I think those are the things I'm going to say in the room, which is, collegiate athletics was set up in a way to give young people an education opportunity through sport and a level playing field. And naturally, as the commercial business starts to grow, things start to separate. Like, I'm fully aware of the disparity that's there. But when I get in the room, I'm going to do several things. Number one is I'm going to listen. I'm not the type that gets into something new and walks in and starts swinging the bat around. Like, there's a lot that I need to learn about the dynamic. Quite frankly, I love college football. I've been dying to know what's been going on in that room for years, and now I get to sit in there, which is a little surreal. But I am going to listen, and I also am going to emphasize what I think is important, which is opportunities across sports in general need to be inclusive. Like expanding the NCAA tournament so more of the certain conferences can have access versus creating more access for everyone. My personal feeling is that's not the answer. I think the expansion will create value. It will be growth. The networks will want to pay more money for it. It will create more exposure for the sport, but it needs to be inclusive. It needs to provide as many opportunities for the one-bid leagues as it does the multi-bid leagues.
So as the new kid who just moved into town, like first day of class, like do you bring treats for everybody? How do you kind of get into that room and kind of try and earn some favor right away?
Well, I think it starts with what the hell I'm going to wear. Like, I don't even know what to wear to these meetings. And I've actually asked a couple people about that, but that's maybe the nervousness in me. But here's the great part, guys. I've known Greg Sankey back to my CSTV days when we did a deal to televise a bunch of SEC Olympic sports. Tony Petitti worked across the hall from me when I was a young executive at ABC Sports, and then I worked with him again at CBS. Brett Yormark and I worked together in a variety of different business enterprises. And then, if you go from there, Jimmy Phillips and I know each other really well. Judy, Keith, John, Gloria, like I have these relationships already from my years of working in the industry. Mm-hmm. So the familiarity's there. I've already had great conversations with most of them. So I think familiarity is the important part. Like, you all know each other, and then you can just kind of get on to the business at hand.
All right, before we let you go, what was your biggest highlight from your days playing tight end for Rutgers?
Well, I told a story in the press conference about an event where I caught a pass against number 8 Penn State at Giant Stadium and happened to be wide open because I was supposed to be the decoy, but I think the defense kind of knew I was the decoy and they left me alone. But the highlight was playing at Michie Stadium. I played in great places in my career as a player, and I remember us beating Michigan State when we were 35-point underdogs in East Lansing. But playing at Michie Stadium was different, and playing at Navy Marine Corps was different. Those are two great memories, not only because of the atmosphere. Like, you were intimidated before the game started. There's generals and dignitaries and tradition and all of these things, and those guys would fight you every play until the end, even if they were losing by 40 points. My favorite part was at the end, you stood behind them as a team while they did their alma mater, win or lose. Yep. And it's just like, talk about the hair on the neck going up. It just gave me the chills to know I was part of something like that, and also gave me comfort to know that these were the people that were going to be protecting us, as a country in the future. And full circle, Army and Navy in this conference in football, I couldn't be happier because those are two global brands.
Yeah, one of my highlights of my broadcasting career is having covered the Tigers of Memphis in at Mikey Stadium against Army, just one of the beautiful areas of the entire country. And then, of course, we get to go to Navy every other year, it seems like, and going there in Annapolis, another great area of the country, and having that tradition and that history is just something from a broadcasting standpoint, I love. But certainly as a former player, I would imagine that it would have been a highlight of your career. We are so excited to have you, Tim, as a part of this league. We've been covering it since its inception. He's Tim Pernetti. He's the commissioner of the American Conference. You can follow him on Twitter at Tim_Pernetti. Looking forward to meeting you in person, Tim. Congratulations again.
I will be in town to see Bill and Laird and Ryan and Penny and Alex, and I hope maybe we can do this next time in person, guys.
That'll be great. Thanks again, Tim.
Thank you.
Take care.
Well, folks, maybe like Tim, you've gotten a new job that requires you to move elsewhere, to move. Maybe it's just across town, maybe it's across country, whatever. But moving can be stressful when you do have to move, unless you get the professionals to help you, like Black Tie Moving. You give them a call, 901-316-6196, or go to their website, blacktiemoving.com/Memphis, and they will take a lot of that stress and worry out of the process for you while you try and focus on other things that can come up when you're trying to relocate the family and everybody else. Man, it's a lot of stuff that goes into it. You want to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your belongings are going to get where they're going without any problems. That's exactly what Black Tie Moving is going to take care of. And they can take care of everything. The packing and unpacking, if you want them to do that, that's the thing. When you talk to them, they'll come up working with you or whatever that plan is. What do you need out of them? That's the key. And they'll come up with that plan, fitting those needs and fitting the budget as well. They'll give you a no obligation quote up front so you know exactly what it's going to cost as well. So if you've got a move coming up, maybe it's a new office space too. Maybe you're moving your office, whether it's your office, your home, whatever, cross town, cross country, wherever you're going, talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
When we come back, we'll head to Fayetteville. We'll be talking with Bob Holt, longtime reporter covering the Arkansas Razorbacks for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. We'll get his thoughts on the presser from John Calipari, but also the impact that he expects for the Razorbacks in that community from the hiring of John Calipari. That's coming up next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's Cool Cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or Cool Cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe in 2024. We can't wait to serve you.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 61, visit staples.com/print for details.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Shop our best savings for spring during Spring Fest at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off, plus save an extra $150 on every $1,500 you spend on select major appliances. And save on premium 2 cubic foot mulch. Get 5 bags for just $10. Because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid to 4/17. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details. Premium mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Grizz Nation, get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they host LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers tonight at 7 p.m. Don't miss this Western Conference Showdown live at FedEx Forum. Get your tickets today at Grizzlies.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A little bit of traffic volume running a little bit heavy over here on Sam Cooper, this time going eastbound. That's going outbound Sam Cooper over at Graham. Traffic still a little bit crowded over here on 240 East up by Popular. That could be that way all through lunch hour today and especially this afternoon. Traffic's on the increase even more in the last few minutes. 55 southbound coming across the bridge. It's still closed over there at Shelby at Horn Lake. That's a police situation that's underway. That could be closed for quite some time as well. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It has been several days since the John Calipari news broke, but let's be honest, it's still a little numbing to the senses when you think about what has just transpired, especially when the word is that the replacement for John Calipari apparently is going to be a former Kentucky Wildcat player who, as the coach at BYU, has no NCAA tournament wins in Mark Pope. But John Calipari is now in Fayetteville. He's the head coach of the Hogs, and I know there's a lot of excited people that'll be covering the Razorbacks, including a guy who's covered the Razorbacks since 1981, and that is Bob Holt. He covers the Razorbacks for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. You can follow Bob on Twitter at Bob Holt ADG. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us. You've been around for a while. You have covered a lot of those introductory press conferences, whether it be football, basketball, or whatever the case may be. What was it like the other night seeing John Calipari introduced wearing the red as the Hogs head coach?
Well, it was pretty surreal, I guess. You know, they had something similar when Eric Musselman was hired 5 years ago. It was during the day, which we reporters liked better, but the fact that they put it live on the SEC network, and I think maybe some other stations carried it, I'm not sure. But and then we worked, and I got home at, I don't know, 11 o'clock or whatever, and turned on the SC Network, and it's like playing on an endless loop. So I think it was, and I know it wasn't Friday night, there wasn't SEC baseball or whatever on, but it was literally a big production, a big show, and there were several thousand fans there. I mean, a lot of teams would like to have that big a crowd for a game, and we didn't count everybody, but we estimated about 7,000, and it was a rainy night. It was a lousy night weather-wise. It was cold and rainy, and they didn't open the arena up until 5, and so a lot of fans stood out in the rain waiting, and you're thinking, this is a press conference they can watch on TV.
Right, right.
If they want to, but they were there, and Cal said he'd never seen anything like it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his intro was like at Kentucky or Memphis. I'm sure it wasn't that big a deal at UMass back in the 1980s or with the Nets. But and of course he came on the stage and he was wearing a sport coat. It was, I'm no fashion person. I think it was kind of light blue with some pink stripes or patterned or something. And they wore a red pullover later when he talked to the media. But, it was just surreal because, he's been in that building many times facing Arkansas. He's coached against Arkansas 25 times at UMass, Memphis, and Kentucky. So he obviously is very familiar with the program. And he referenced this right off the bat that in 2020, January, Kentucky came in and played Arkansas. It was a tie ball game, real tense. One of his players got called for an illegal screen. He went ballistic, got ejected. Crowd went nuts, and was yelling at him and cheering. And he said throwing things. They didn't throw anything that I recall. But anyway, and then Kentucky ended up winning that game. Kenny Payne, who was an assistant at the time, took over as acting coach or whatever you call somebody who takes over when a guy gets ejected, and he led him back to victory. Of course, things didn't go so well at Louisville for Kenny Payne, but so he, John said he'd never gotten a reception like that because the fans went crazy, cheering for him. And he referenced that, and of course he brought up that they came back and won the game. A lot of people speculate at the time that he got ejected on purpose to fire his team up. So, I don't know if that was true or not, but it worked. But yeah, so just seeing him back in Walton Arena and getting a hero's welcome, you knew it was going to happen, when he was the coach, but still to see it play out that way was pretty wild.
So after Eric Musselman left, there was a lot of talk about the other coaches or whatever, that Chris Beard and some others that they were going after. Kind of from what you've gathered, who did they really go after, and how did they kind of end up and get to the point where John Calipari was interested and that was the way they were going?
Well, Hunter Yurchek, the Arkansas AD, made a point to stress, as I think all ADs do, the only person that was offered the job was the guy who took the job. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know Hunter said they talked to 8 to 10 coaches, but based on what Hunter and John said, John Tyson, who people heard Tyson chicken. If they haven't had some Tyson chicken, then it's hard to believe because there's a lot of Tyson
it's
chicken
everywhere.
Out there. So, frozen, fresh, whatever, and the good stuff. And John Tyson, who's the CEO of Tyson Foods, and a good friend of John, I think going back to his Memphis days as coaching the Memphis Tigers. And so, and whenever Kentucky would come here and play, there's a place called Herman's Rib House in Fayetteville. It's an old restaurant from around the 60s and a really good place to eat. There's, nothing fancy. But anyway, a lot of times they would go out there the night before game, especially on a Friday, if they were playing Saturday. And you'd see all this stuff on social media, and Cal would, shake hands and post her pictures. I don't know if he kissed babies or not. but sign autographs. Nobody can work a room probably.
Nobody.
In sports or college basketball like John Calipari. And, fans would call the hogs and he'd laugh and everything. But, he's very engaging with people. And, like I say, he handled that so well the other night, both the press conference with the media and then obviously the big stage there out there with all the fans and everything. But so John Tyson has been a friend of his for many years. And according to what everybody said the other night, John Tyson called Cal and said, hey, Hunter Yurchek, he's on the college football playoff committee, and they were, I guess, coincidentally having their meeting out in Phoenix during the Final Four. Probably a lot of ADs like to go there for the Final Four anyway, and obviously the basketball coach was there for their convention.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, hey, my AD's in Phoenix, I want you to, I'd like you to talk to him. He's a good man, I'd like you to talk to him. And Cal said he didn't know what was up. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I think, the mention is, hey, you talk to a guy like Cal, that's got all kinds of connections, and he can maybe suggest some possible candidates for you, although you're talking to an SEC rival, right? Kentucky and Arkansas are big SEC rivals. Well, everybody's Kentucky's rival, but Arkansas and Kentucky have had some pretty good games over the years with Nolan Richardson, Rick Pitino, and all the way up now with Eric Musselman and Cal. And so they met, I guess this would have been Friday, I think. And Cal said they met for about 90 minutes, maybe a little less. And they were talking about other coaches, and then he was talking the Arkansas job up about how great it was. I'm talking about Cal said he was, and then Hunter said, well, you think it's a great job. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, but you think it's a great job. What about you? Well, what do you mean, what about me? What about you? Well, what about you for the job? And we all know that Cal had been at Kentucky for 15 years, and it had been a great run, but it had been rough lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a bumpy road. He's got that big buyout, and a lot of people at Kentucky, would probably like him gone, but the buyout maybe cost prohibitive. And so John said, he said he talked to a priest about it. I don't know if that's an exaggeration or not, but he said he talked, he's if people know him, they know he's a very devout Catholic. And he said the priest told him to go take a walk, like an hour's walk, and during the first part of the walk, kind of picture yourself being Arkansas's coach, and during the last part of the walk, picture yourself being as Kentucky's coach. And so he said he did that, and, got him excited thinking about the possibilities of Arkansas. And so I think one thing led to another, and Hunter was still talking to other coaches because, you got to make sure you have some options if you don't get the guy who's your number one target. But I think obviously at that point, Cal was the number one target. And so they were able to reach an agreement, and Cal said he did not want it to leak out before the championship game because he wanted, those players and coaches at Purdue and UConn to be at center stage. We also had an eclipse going on, right? And I don't know about Memphis, but it was a big deal here in Arkansas.
Yeah. I know
it was people poured into our state, especially in the central part, but also up here in the Fayetteville, for the eclipse. And so you had, the national championship game going on, the total eclipse, of the sun, and then, John Calipari leaving Kentucky for Arkansas. But he said somebody leaked it on this end, me and the Arkansas, he doesn't know who, and he was kind of joking about it. But he seriously said he felt bad that it distracted, became a big story along with the title game. And so they, I think by Monday we knew it was pretty much a done deal, and it was just waiting for the official confirmation. And that came early Wednesday when Arkansas's board of trustees met and approved the contract, which was a formality. And then they had the big, intro presser on Wednesday night. So yeah, it all happened very quickly. Like he said, a week before the previous Wednesday, never could have imagined that he would be the Arkansas coach, and so it happened very quickly.
The common denominator being the chicken man, bringing them together. And I know that John Tyson made the comment about $3 to $5 million that he and some other boosters will put into the coffers for NIL, which certainly is a big reason why John is there. But Bob, let me ask you this: so what now will be the expectations? Obviously, at Kentucky, he won a national championship, had some great teams, but it's all about what have you done for me lately. What type of patience will Arkansas fans have? Musselman had some good runs and had a bad year this past season. So what do you think it will be like for John and the fan base and the expectations with him now at the helm?
Well, yeah, the fan base is probably, and I'm talking, going from big boosters to, I guess I'll call regular folks like me, in terms of just a regular person with a regular job. But yeah, I think expectations will be, super high. Now, Arkansas is not Kentucky, nowhere is, but Arkansas has got a very proud program.
Yep.
Won national championship in '94, went back to the title game in '95. Nolan Richardson had another Final Four appearance. Of course, Nolan Richardson led Arkansas to their national title. Had another Final Four appearance in '90. Eddie Sutton '78 Final Four. Eddie Sutton's in the Naismith Hall of Fame. Nolan Richardson's in the Hall of Fame. John Calipari's in the Hall of Fame. The difference being those two, Eddie Sutton and Nolan Richardson got in after they retired. And Cal's in there now. And he's been in there since 2015. So, Arkansas has never hired a coach this accomplished. Now, they hired Danny Ford in football, who had won a national championship at Clemson. And Danny's a Hall of Fame football coach. And, of course, they had Lou Holtz, Frank Broyles, Ken Hatfield had some really great football coaches. But, yeah, to hire somebody like John, who is 65, but you feel like he's still got, some gas in the tank, and I think he's really going to be, talking to different people who know him, he's really going to be invigorated by this, and I think he's going to really be excited. Not that he wouldn't have been, wanting to show everybody Kentucky. He could take Kentucky back to the top after some rough years, frankly, in recent years. But, I think the expectations at Arkansas are that he's going to bring in great players just like he did Kentucky, and they're going to have really good teams, and they're hoping to have, postseason success like he had for most of the first, 10 years of his time at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And, I would think if he's here the next 5 years, I would think the expectation is that they at least get to a Final Four again.
Not that you haven't had a lot of great stories to write about and great topics to write about. Boy, you're going to be busy, Bob.
Well, yeah. I've been on 1A a lot lately, which is kind of weird. I was on there with, the government stuff, and most of the time we're on 1C, as we like to say in sports. We have, we still print a real paper, but we have a replica.
God bless you. God bless you.
But most of our stuff's, digital. It's on your laptop, your iPad, your phone, whatever. ArkansasOnline.com and NWAOnline.com and WholeHogSports.com. If we're all online, but yeah, Cal coming to Arkansas, it is the biggest off-season news without a doubt, and I guess technically in-season news if you count if the season's was still going on before Monday's game.
Why did Eric Musselman, seemingly want out?
I think with some different reasons. One thing, Eric is a West Coast guy. His dad, Bill Musselman, was a great coach. And Eric kind of grew up moving around because that's the life of a coach. And then Eric moved around a lot because he became a coach. And really the 5 seasons he coached here was as long as he'd ever been anywhere. Coaching in, whether it was the NBA, the CBA, college, he had moved around a lot. But really San Diego, Southern California, is, I think he considers that home. That's where his mom lives. And, it's where he went to school at the University of San Diego, and he coached in the NBA with the Golden State and Sacramento as a head coach. And he coached at Arizona State. That's when he first got into college coach, was an assistant at Arizona State. And so I think the opportunity to go back to that area, Southern California, Los Angeles, obviously, I think that was very attractive to him. I think 5 seasons, with Eric Slick, that's a long time. And he's kind of a fixer, if you want to call that. He went to Nevada, which, people know college basketball. Nevada's had a pretty good history, Before Eric got there, they'd gone to some Sweet 16s, and people probably remember Mark Fox, who had a good run there, and then they went to Georgia, and they hired the LSU's coach and Stanford's coach, Johnson, whose first name is escaping me.
Trent.
Yeah, Trent Johnson was there. Pat Foster, who was a longtime assistant for Eddie Sutton, coached there. So they'd had some really good teams, but they've been down for about 10 years. And then Eric went in there and built them back up and took them to 3 straight NCAA tournaments, a Sweet 16. And then that landed him this job. And Arkansas is a proud program. And Mike Anderson Mike Anderson's a good coach. But 8 years here, 3 NCAA tournaments. That, frankly, the expectations are above that. And so Mike never had a losing season, but he didn't have quite enough good seasons. He never broke through and got to a Sweet 16, although Arkansas fans will tell you they got screwed on some calls against North Carolina. I think it was in 2017.
Yeah. Shocking that fans would say that, right?
No, I know. But if you were at the game and watched it, you would agree, probably, unless you're wearing Carolina blue. But that being said, Mike did a good job, never had a losing record, but Arkansas was looking to do better and get back to, where they just weren't making the NCAA tournament, but were making runs. And so they hired Hunter Yurchek, he'd been the Arkansas AD for a couple of years at that point, and he did a search and he hired Eric Musselman, an NBA head coach, and had good success at Nevada. And so Eric came in and had a good first year. They were 20-12. Maybe they were still alive in the SEC tournament, and we don't know what would have happened, but they had a real good first year. Then COVID obviously shut everything down. Then the next 3 years, they go to back-to-back Elite Eights. Arkansas had been 0-10 against number one seeds. Eric beat two of them. He beat Gonzaga, and he beat Kansas. And they went to a Sweet 16, last season with a really talented team. They ended up having 3 draft picks and 4 guys who have been in the who played in the NBA. Some this season anyway. Had a bit of a disappointing regular season, but then had a great run in the postseason and beat KU, and then they ran into UConn, who, nobody's beaten UConn the last 2 years. And then the expectations this year were very high. Eric, he signed some good freshmen. He'd had 3 freshmen who were first-round picks and 4 picks overall freshmen, but really hit the portal hard. And he did that at Nevada, and that carried over to Arkansas, and he'd had a lot of really good players out of the portal. And they had 7 transfers this year and a couple of highly touted freshmen, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work. It didn't mesh well. Telling the players, after the season, when they lost South Carolina in 16-17, yes, guys, what happened? Or during the year, you'd ask, and they just didn't seem. They had good players. They had talent. They had some. They beat Duke, right? They beat Purdue in an exhibition game, and this exhibition game, it didn't count, but they had a packed house there. And so they had some impressive wins, swept Texas A&M and NCAA tournament team, but overall, just the team did not mesh. And so I think that was probably pretty disappointing to Eric. Well, I know it was. And then, so I think when the Southern Cal job opened up, it was going back home, so to speak, to California. They were coming off a rough year. That you knew the team was going to turn over, whether he was at Arkansas or somewhere else. And so I just think he was ready to make a change and go, quote, fix another program. That's had, USC's had success. They're not UCLA, but they've had success. But it's a pretty blank slate there, and so I think he was excited about that opportunity.
Right, I think the whole West Coast thing, like you said, makes a lot of sense. Well, there's not going to be a dull moment. I can guarantee you that. We had a chance to cover Cal for 9 years here in Memphis, Bob. So I know you guys are going to be busy out there in the western part of Arkansas and Arkansas overall, for that matter. John Calipari will keep you busy. He is a reporter for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He's been covering the Hogs since 1981. He's Bob Holt. You can follow him on Twitter at BobHoltADG. Thank you, Bob. Really appreciate it.
Okay, you guys take care.
You too. Jenkins Floors and More at 6 East Commerce in Hernando, Mississippi. Also with stores in Little Rock and Cleveland, Mississippi. This is a place that specializes in flooring and carpeting with wholesale prices for you. They skip the middleman. They save you lots of money by selling it wholesale. Again, they specialize in flooring and carpeting. And if it's variety you're looking for, that's what they have at Jenkins Floors and More. SPC and WPC vinyls, which are scratch resistant and waterproof. They have ceramic and porcelain tiles, all different styles, all different looks. Hardwoods by Portercraft, carpentry from Southern Luxury Carpet, backsplashes for your kitchen and bathrooms, and plantation shutters, blinds as well. All different styles and colors, granite, porcelain, and more with their tiles and their flooring at Jenkins Floors and More. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started this business from scratch back in Cleveland, Mississippi, and now 3 stores. And they're looking here in the future to add one in the Memphis area. But it's a short drive from anywhere, and they will come to you. If you're looking for, again, that new floor, that new carpeting, Jenkins Floors and More will come to you. Just give them a call at 662-469-9350. They'll give you an estimate. They'll bring samples. Give them a call. Financing is available, and this is for both residents and commercial business owners. Just give them a call. The contractors out there as well. Do yourself a favor, because you're going to get, again, wholesale prices. It's Jenkins Floors and More. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hot wings. What's your favorite flavor? The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 32 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Crazy Lemon Twist, a savory, zesty, and citrusy taste of fresh lemon twist. The Jalapeno Cheddar, an acidic and spicy flavor completed with a burst of sharp cheddar. Or Crazy Sweet Heat, tangy sweetness followed by the heat. And that's just 3 of the amazing 32 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the Crazy Coop Special. Choose from 3 whole wings or 6 party wings, fries, and drink, all for just $9.99. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-357-6499. 800-357-6499. 800-357-6499.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You watch sports. You listen to sports. Now let's talk sports. Are you a huge sports fan with always something to say, but only a few listeners? Well, not anymore, because Sports 56 is opening the airwaves overnight. From 12 midnight till 6 a.m. for people like you to talk sports during your own 1-hour radio talk show on Sports After Dark. That means for 1 hour, you can tell us what's really on your mind regarding sports. Your favorite sports team, your favorite player, discuss pre-games, post-games, all games. Let's talk. Orientation is required. Interested applicants must contact the podcast center at gmail.com or call 901-468-3097. That's the podcast center at gmail.com or 901-468-3097. Amateur and professional talk show hosts encouraged to apply.
Required orientation is Saturday, April 13th, or you can take it online.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Masters round 2 underway, although there are still some golfers that are wrapping up round number 1 since there was a bunch of them that could not finish yesterday because of darkness after the weather delay. Tiger Woods has just finished his first round. He ends up 1 over par. Your leader going into round 2 is Bryson DeChambeau at 7 under, Scottie Scheffler at 6 under. But Cam Davis is red hot. He's on the course right now through 6 holes of his second round, 2 under for the day, 5 under for the tournament. Max Homa, who played with Tiger Woods and Jason Day, completed his round at 5 under par. Got to certainly watch out for in this tournament this weekend at Augusta National.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like the wind's blowing.
No, it doesn't.
Very much. There's a little bit, but not. It certainly doesn't look like. Now, I don't know. Again, they might pick up as the day goes along. Jordan Spieth having a rough go of it. He's now at 7 over.
Wow.
He took, I think, a 9 on number 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there he is right there. Yep, 9 on 15.
And he's
Then he bogeyed 17, parred 18.
Rough go for a guy who normally, when he walks on the grounds out there at Augusta, figures everything out and competes, but he is not doing it this year. 7 over par as he completes his first round. Well, tonight, the Grizzlies and the Lakers will do battle down at FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies with 2 games this weekend, a game tonight, and then the game Sunday afternoon against the defending champion Denver Nuggets. We've got tickets for both games that we're going to be giving away throughout the day. I've got another pair of tickets right now for the Lakers game tonight. Grizzlies-Lakers tonight at FedEx Forum. Got a pair of tickets for caller number 7. 360-8255, 360-8255. Caller number 7 gets a pair of tickets. These are digital tickets that'll be sent to you, so you obviously need a Ticketmaster account, be able to get the tickets that way. You don't have to come by the station. We will send you the tickets. Caller number 7, 360-8255. Pair of tickets to go see the Grizzlies and the Lakers. LeBron James and company, again, the big game for them because they're in a 3-way tie right now for the 8th, 9th, and 10th spots in the play-in in the Western Conference. Grizzlies, Lakers tonight, FedEx Forum. Caller number 7, 360-8255. The Sissy's Log Cabin listener line gets a pair of tickets.
We certainly want to send our condolences to the family and friends of Joseph McKinney, Officer Joseph McKinney, Memphis police officer who was tragically killed in that shootout in Whitehaven as a pair of teenagers shot at 3 Memphis Police Department officers. There was also an 18-year-old who died in the shooting. But again, our condolences to the friends and family, to the entire Memphis Police Department with the loss of Officer Joseph McKinney. It is still strawberry season, so that means you can still get those delicious chocolate-covered strawberries at Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates. They've been doing it for over 122 years. That's nuts when you think about that. But any of those delicious fruits like the grapes and the pineapples, they can put them in that rich dip them in that rich chocolate, that special sugar fondant. They enrobe it in the rich milk chocolate. Nobody, and I mean nobody, dips them like Dinstall's. But if you're just looking for that delicious cashew crunch, obviously that's the place that makes it. Had a bunch of chocolate-covered pretzels. My wife bought me a pound of them for Easter. Man, they are out of this world. Chocolate-covered cashews. They could put chocolate on anything, and they do at Dinstall's. There's 5 convenient locations, including Pleasant View. And if you want to take a tour of the chocolate factory, just give them a call and let them know what you want to do, and they'll let you know when it's available for you, and you can take the tour. They'll show you how the chocolate is made. They're located, again, at Pleasant View, Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, and in downtown Memphis. Dinstall's has been saying I love you for over 122 years. We'll take a break, come back with hour number 3. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park, we got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes shakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
Grizz Nation, don't miss the Grizzlies' last regular season home game. Win tickets to see the Grizzlies versus the Nuggets April 14th at 2:30 p.m. for fan appreciation. All fans will receive a Grizzlies poster and have the chance to win Grizz gear and more every hour on the hour, courtesy of the Memphis Grizzlies and Sports 56.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Still a couple of accidents in the clearing stages out here. It remains heavy over here on 240 East up by Poplar. Memphis Police Department remain on the scene of this early morning shooting. Again, it's been closed since 2 o'clock this morning on Horn Lake Road at Shelby Drive. Avoid that area if you can. And a reminder, tonight at 8 o'clock, they're going to close Germantown Road, the southbound lanes this time. They're at Wolf River Bridge. Don't let that catch you off guard tonight and over the weekend as well. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Early Monday morning to Friday at 5, man.
Final hour for us this week here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's currently 56, but it's going to warm up to 71 today. At least that's the projected high. Plenty of sunshine tonight, clear skies with a low of 49. And then we're looking at just a beautiful Saturday and Sunday for a great weekend. 82 degrees, the projected high for both days, and sunshine. The second hour, make that the third hour of the program, is brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More, and they invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Hernando, Little Rock, and Cleveland, Mississippi. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call them at 662-469-9350. They will come out to wherever you are and give you a free estimate, bring you samples, show you what it's all about. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business. All right, coming up a little bit later on in the hour, we got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Got a great prize package for you. Plus, we'll give away another pair of tickets for the Grizzlies. In fact, we got tickets for the Grizzlies and the Lakers game tonight, the Grizzlies and the Nuggets game on Sunday, and we'll be giving them out throughout the day.
That's right. Going to give away a pair of tickets every hour to one of the two games. Again, Sunday is their big fan appreciation day. They'll be giving away a lot of stuff and throughout the game and different things, as they always do in their final home game of the season. So that'll be on Sunday against the defending champion Nuggets. And then again tonight, of course, the Lakers in town. And a very important game for them. Not so much for the Grizzlies. Not really an important game for the Grizzlies today. Less than important.
There hasn't been an important game for the Grizzlies since, I don't know.
There hasn't been an important game all year. In the end, there hasn't been an important game all year.
Maybe the first game Ja returned back from his 25-game suspension when he came back. That was important. And then unfortunately, he ends up getting injured, so that was rough. By the way, it is official. Mark Pope is the new coach at Kentucky. I know there's a lot of people scratching their heads, but for Kentucky fans, they know all about Mark Pope. He was a captain of the 1996 National Championship team, and he returns to Kentucky as their 23rd head coach. There's a big event coming up this weekend, and we're excited about this.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of the Grizzlies, there is a former Grizzly here in studio with us that we'll be talking to here in just a little bit. But first, we do want to talk a little bit and give you some details about this event that's going to be happening over at the Memphis Sports and Event Center. It is the Diamonds and Gems in the Rough. It's put on by On the Scene Sports, and Dorsey Sims III, the coach, Dorsey Sims III, is the founder of On the Scene Sports. He's the one putting this on. This is for some unsigned seniors in the area to kind of show their wares a little bit. And Coach is here. We've got Xavier Henry. We've got CJ Henry in the building as well. And Coach, first of all, welcome. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thank you all for having us this morning.
So tell us a little bit about exactly what this event is and what it's all about.
We've been doing it. This is our 26th year, having an opportunity to showcase some of the finest talent in the nation right here in Memphis, Tennessee, and providing an opportunity for these young people to get scholarships. And we have a great time doing it.
It's hard to believe that in this day and age that players get passed over or missed because they're out there, they're visible to a lot of people, but that's not the case. There are players, for whatever the reason there is, that may fall through the cracks. You give them that opportunity.
Yes, we do. There's a lot of players that are under the radar, and that's one of the reasons why we do what we do, because there are so many great athletes here in the state of Tennessee. But this is not just Tennessee basketball. This is Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi players that have an opportunity to be seen and showcase their talents.
It's boys and girls too, correct?
Yes, it is.
So how do you go about in choosing those particular boys and girls to play in this event?
Well, for numerous of years, over 26 years, I do broadcasting. I do it for Le Mans On, women and men's program.
You have the pipes.
I have the pipes. And I also do it for the Martin Luther King Invitational Tournament, which is 53 years going on strong.
Wow.
And I see these young people. I do about 36 games in that event every year, and then I get around all the schools as well. And I do it for Reebok up in St. Louis. I do the Memphis versus Atlanta Classic.
You're a popular man, too, by the way.
I do it for Memphis versus Atlanta Classic, the Peach State Classic. I do it for ESPN when they come to town. So I'm extremely busy during basketball season.
So take us, what exactly is the schedule tomorrow as far as the event goes? And can folks just come on out to watch? Tell us all those details.
Yes. Actually, we have registration from 12 to 12:50. From 1 to 1:50 will be the educational session. And then we'll provide lunches for the collegiate coaches and high school coaches that come to attend the event. At 2 o'clock will be the tip-off for the boys showcase from 2 to 3:15. At 3:30, the girls showcase will be from 3:30 to 4:45. And then we have 3 all-star games. At 5 p.m. to 6:15 will be the boys' all-star game. And then from 6:30 to 7:45 will be the girls. And the last one will tip off at 8 p.m. to 9:15 for boys.
So you've brought along 2 familiar names to folks here in Memphis, in Xavier Henry and in CJ Henry. How did you guys get all connected? Obviously, with your ties to Memphis, I assume it goes back to the Henry family when they were here in Memphis, whether it be the Grizzlies or, of course, the Tigers. But tell us a little bit about the history there.
Well, the history of the Henry family is I went to Oklahoma City University, and their father went to Oklahoma City University, played for Coach Ken Trickey. Coach Ken Trickey had a lot of my father's ball players from Chattanooga, Riverside, Memphis, Melrose, that went to Oral Roberts University and Oklahoma City University. Their father, Mr. Carl Henry, played with Reuben Jackson, who was on my dad's 78 state championship team. James Campbell. Reuben was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. Campbell was drafted by the Houston Rockets. Their father was drafted by the Kansas City Kings and went on to play for Sacramento Kings. So their dad and I have been knowing one another since college.
Okay, and so what will they be doing as far as this event is?
They are coming in to handle the showcase. I can just sit back this year and kind of and just kind of watch and let these guys do their thing. And we're putting the NBA flavor on it this time around. And these young men have a ton of wealth of knowledge and experience, and so they're going to be handling the showcase for us this year.
Obviously, you've done it for a long time. That means you've done it at different venues because the Memphis Sports and Events Center has not been around that long. What do you think of that beautiful facility? It's a beautiful facility. We actually started in Olive Branch, Mississippi, at the high school. And then for 13 years, for the first 13. And so everyone kept asking me, Coach Sims, when are you going to bring it to Memphis? When are you going to bring it to Memphis? So I said, well, if I'm going to bring it to Memphis, it's got to be at my high school, where my dad coached at Melrose from 74 to 86. And he was the winningest coach in the history of Melrose basketball with over 330-plus wins. And so I said, well, we'll bring it back to the Orange Mound community. And so we've been doing it at the old gym and the new gym. I graduated off of Dedrick, but a lot of people graduated off of Park and Dallas. And we have been at the Verticales Gymnasium for years and also at Melrose's gym on Dedrick. So your dad coached, starting you said in 74?
Yes.
So obviously he didn't get the chance to coach Larry. He didn't coach Bingo. He didn't coach some of the...
No.
So who were your stars?
He played, in 68, my dad won the back-to-back state championship in 68 and 69, but they knocked Melrose out with Larry Finch. Larry was drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers, and my dad ball player was Richard Freakway that played at Oral Roberts, the number one scorer in the nation at that time, was drafted by the Boston Celtics. And so we've been knowing the Finch family since Coach Finch was probably 16 years old.
Wow. So can folks just come out and watch the games tomorrow?
They can come out. It's $15 to come out and to observe the great talent in Memphis, Arkansas, Mississippi. You're going to be watching some of the greatest talent in the nation tomorrow.
How about some of the coaches? Where are they coming from to come in and watch?
They're coming from all over the country. They'll be coming in to observe and offer these young people scholarships. Most of them have anywhere from 5 to 7 scholarships because of the transfer portal.
Right.
And people have to understand that, with the transfer portal for high school students, it has made it extremely difficult for them to go to college. And it's opened an avenue up for those NAIA programs, Division I, Division II junior colleges. That's where a lot of your middle-tier players are going to now, whereas before, even on the D2 programs, and I try to let them know that, hey, basically by April, every now and then you'll get one that'll get out of there and make it to D1. But the majority of the time, don't turn your nose down at Division II schools, Division IIIs, NAIA programs, Division I and II programs. You want to go someplace where people want you and where you can play. And you can always have an opportunity to transfer the same way the college coaches do.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's swing that mic around here and we'll talk with CJ a little bit first. What are you up to these days?
Do a little bit of training, a little caretaking, just a little bit of everything.
Where's home?
Oklahoma City.
Okay. What are your memories of Memphis?
Good memories. The people, I enjoyed going to school here, and that was my first year out of baseball, and just the way the atmosphere was down at FedEx when we had games, it was like a pro game. It was like a real live NBA game, and it was just fun being here when Cal was.
Yeah. So your year was the last year of Cal, correct?
Right, correct.
And then he left, of course, and then you, because Xavier, who we'll talk to a little bit, was going to come, and then you guys both end up going. You went to Kansas too after that,
yes,
correct?
Sir.
You guys went together.
Both.
But that was you were done with baseball at that point when you came here. Or you're professional because you were with the Yankees,
right? Yankees with the Phillies, and then I came back and played basketball for a couple of years. Then I went back to baseball.
Okay, you did go back to baseball
a little bit and played independent.
Would you suggest to young athletes out there, like when I was a kid, I played every sport. Right. Every sport. Now, a lot of times it's one sport. Baseball, you play baseball all year long. Basketball all year long. Would you suggest that they play multiple sports, or do they stick to one that they're really good at?
I would suggest playing everything. Play because you don't really need an off season as a kid, and each sport will play off of each other, and you'll benefit from the strengths of like hand-eye coordination, and just it all works together. It'll keep you in shape, keep you out of trouble. And baseball and basketball, they don't run together, so I guess it worked out. But if you can run track in there, just a couple events, that's your conditioning, so you don't have to do anything with that. And the only sport that's tough is football. Where you do too much hitting, you do too much pounding on the body.
You need an off season when it's football.
Right.
So how long did you play then, like independent baseball, after you got done with your
2 years.
2 years? Okay.
I played in Southern Indiana and Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay. So when you're training guys now, are you training like for baseball players or just
both.
General training? You're both?
Yeah,
Okay.
baseball and basketball.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So there's different. So what are you training? Obviously, the skills of the game are different, but is there certain things when you're training them that you're particularly doing for a baseball player as opposed to a basketball player? Or is it pretty much the same?
No, basketball is skill work, and then baseball is a lot of repetition.
Okay.
And then a lot of just trying to get the fundamentals down.
Right.
And as your body fills out and as you get stronger, stuff starts to change, and you start to, and once you do it more with repetition, you start to fill out what works for you.
What age do you work with?
All ages.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you're
All
doing
ages.
are you like right now? We have this thing going on in Major League Baseball with all the arm injuries to pitchers. So what for a young kid who's into pitching early? Like, what is there a proper way to kind of train a kid early to try and avoid arm injuries?
I only pitched a little bit up until high school, and then I was done. I would say lay off like breaking balls and stuff that really puts torque on your elbow. Nowadays, everything is about spin rate and analytics and stuff. And they've changed the rule that they have pitch clocks now, and so it's back to back to back to back. And so guys are, I think, getting tired, and they're not used to it. And so I would just say fastball changeup.
I assume you guys are keeping close tabs on what's happening in college basketball. What about the John Calipari move to Arkansas? I mean, you're right. You think of Memphis and Oklahoma City. It's kind of right in between Fayetteville.
Right.
What about that news?
Surprising, but I mean, I like it. I like it. It'll be a change of scenery for Cal, and then Arkansas hasn't really been up to the point. I remember Arkansas, like Nolan Richardson,
sure.
And they were like 40
minutes of hell.
Yeah, 40 minutes of hell. And so that's the only thing I remember about them. And they've been good a couple prior to this last few years. And so I think Cal can bring some guys in there, and he'll have it rocking again.
Well, I'm glad things are going well for you, man. You look great, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. Swing this mic back here. Let's talk to your brother here, which is very appropriate to talk to him because Xavier, you were committed to Memphis. Cal leaves to go to Kentucky, but you didn't follow him to Kentucky. You guys end up going to Kansas. So take us through that whole time. What was that like, and why was there an opportunity to go to Kentucky, and why didn't you follow Cal to Kentucky?
It was McDonald's All-American Week, and so you're around all the top players. A couple of us had already committed to Memphis. Me, DeMarcus Cousins, had a few other guys thinking about doing the same thing. And it was kind of just hectic because one day I got a phone call from Coach Cal, and he wasn't leaving. He's staying, this and that. And then the next call I got from him was, hey, man, it's my dream job. I got to take it. Just come with me. Can you come with me type of thing? And for me, I just never in my mind thought about Kentucky. Never.
Really?
There was never a time I wanted to take a visit. I just never had that school on my radar. And so it was hard for me to just pick up and just go, yeah, I'm going to Kentucky.
What did it end up being for you as far as Kansas, your decision to go there, when you think back on those times?
The atmosphere is ridiculous for for every reason in the world, like the gym, the people, our tradition of our family. Everybody's gone there, but it was really just when you get in Fog Island and then things are going. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
And then you end up in Memphis anyway because the Grizzlies draft you in the first round. So what's that like when all of a sudden you're like, okay, now I'm right back to where this was supposed to start to begin with. I'm back in Memphis with the Grizzlies.
You kind of had that feeling like maybe I was supposed to be here. So it was one of those things like you couldn't get away from it. It was going to happen anyway. It was just a matter of timing, I guess. And so that was cool too. That was one of the most eye-opening experience playing with the guys I got to play with, learning from guys like Mark Gasol, Mike Conley, really smart guys, and then having guys like T.A., Grit and Grind, O.J. Mayo, like Sam Young, a lot of differences. Rudy Gay in there, so it was a really eye-opening experience for your first team to be put out there, and then we were pretty good, so it was interesting.
We had social media. We didn't have social media like we have now. I can't even imagine the Memphis basketball fans. Because at first they probably, hey, Xavier's coming to the University of Memphis. Love him. He's going to Kansas. We hate him. Oh, he's going to be a Grizzly. We love him again. I don't know if you got any reaction from people on the streets and things of that nature.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of it, just a little bit. And probably because social media wasn't so big, it wasn't so much of it. But you hear the whispers and that kind of thing. But they were ultimately, I think, happy that I made my way back.
So Mark just had his jersey retired last weekend, so there's been a lot of reminiscing about those Grizzlies teams, those Grizzlies days, and Mark in particular. But coming in, like you said, and a lot of talk about Mark and what he's like and how intense he is and the competitor. Was there any, like, Mark story that you remember from when you came in?
Oh, there's plenty, man, because that guy is he's one of the most unselfish guys you'll ever play with in life. He could care less about his stats, about getting numbers. He was literally I want to win every single time out kind of guy. And everything that you'd see him getting mad at and getting furious with guys is because they were making bonehead plays that weren't to win. Like, and he would let you know in a Spanish accent just how he wanted to play. And he's just a big guy too. He was just a six.
You don't want to mess with him,
like at all. Like nobody would want to physically engage Mark, so you just had to listen. You just had to listen.
So you caught the wrath? Did you catch the wrath a couple times?
Sometimes, but it was more like a teaching type of thing for me. I think he understood how young I was, and he'd have that look on his face like. And then he'd have to kind of tell me some stuff.
Well, at the ceremony on Saturday, they had a video clip from Dylan Brooks, and Dylan Brooks basically said he didn't even know my name. Did he know your name?
Yeah, at least he knew my name. At least he knew my name.
Hey, before we let you guys go, and we really appreciate you being here. In this day and age of college sports, and we go back to college basketball and the NIL, it has changed everything. What do you think a guy like you, as heralded as you were coming out and then going to college, the NIL era, what you think you could have, made, and it's above board now, so it's paying for your guys' performances on the court. What do you think you could have done, and are you upset that you didn't get that opportunity during that time?
No, I'm not upset because I think it changes the game a little bit now. Because I think when we were coming in and nobody was getting that kind of money, everybody was hungry. Everybody was hungry to make it to that next level as fast as possible, put on the best performances so you could prove yourself, so you could make that type of money. Now that you can go as 17-year-old, 18-year-old, go right into college, and they can give you that type of money, now I feel like college basketball just a little bit is these guys aren't playing as hard as they normally would.
Right.
These guys aren't that hungry because they'll just come back. They might get 4 years of this. They might want 4 years of a great payday, and then I got to go play against the best in the world rather than going to prove yourself against them. Then maybe getting a payday type of thing.
Yeah, so you're trying to earn your way to go make money.
You had to.
You're doing as quickly as possible, all that stuff where they're getting it right. So what are you up to these days?
I'm training a lot of kids from Oklahoma City as well, raising a family, but literally trying to put my all into helping kids fundamentally with the basics and then getting sharp, then just getting sharper and sharper so that way when they go to college, isn't such a big learning curve from from, oh, you can do the thing, but can you do it every time, game speed, ready to rock and roll every time?
So when the Thunder battled the Grizzlies, are you rooting for the Grizzlies or the Thunder?
Neither. I really wasn't. I wasn't a guy to really have like a team type of thing.
Okay.
Whoever I played for was my thing. I don't know if that's ego or what. I never really was like, I'm a fan of these guys.
Right. I thought because maybe you played with the Grizzlies, but you're in Oklahoma City now, so that makes sense. Again, it's the On the Scene Sports 26th annual Diamonds and Gems in the Rough Basketball Classic, and these are unsigned seniors. They're being showcased on Saturday at the Memphis Sports and Event Center. Again, Dorsey said $15, right? Correct. $15 to get in to see some of these best young basketball players, both boys and girls, that have not yet signed their deals.
Yeah, there's 5 games, so that's a pretty good deal. You got the 2 showcases, you got the All-Star games as well, so plenty of basketball for you to check out with some of this top talent from around the area.
Again, a big thanks to Dorsey Sims III. Also, obviously, Xavier Henry, CJ Henry for being with us. Best of luck with you guys with everything, not only this weekend, but for your careers as well.
Thank you, guys.
Great to have you guys. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes to get that new roof or that roof repaired. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners and property managers, if you have a leak or any other roofing issue, obviously homeowners as well, give Brandon a call today. They're licensed, bonded, and insured and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a $100 referral fee, by the way, for all new roofs. 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof and satisfaction guaranteed with all their work. That includes carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. They can install shingles. Brandon's a certified shingle installer. Again, locally owned and operated. When you keep the money locally, you keep it in the local economy. That's the way to go. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Call Brandon today. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. When we come back, 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255 to participate. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Fill your spring with brilliant style at Sissy's Log Cabin. From the latest designer trends to one-of-a-kind pieces to exquisite diamonds, you'll find the jewelry you need for a stylish spring while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched quality, service, and selection. Experience Sissy's for yourself when you stop by any of our 6 locations or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com. Create the style of your dreams only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
You watch sports. You listen to sports. Now let's talk sports. Are you a huge sports fan with always something to say but only a few listeners? Well, not anymore, because Sports 56 is opening the airwaves overnight. From 12 midnight till 6 a.m. for people like you to talk sports during your own 1-hour radio talk show on Sports After Dark. That means for 1 hour, you can tell us what's really on your mind regarding sports. Your favorite sports team, your favorite player, discuss pre-games, post-games, all games. Let's talk. Orientation is required. Interested applicants must contact the podcast center at gmail.com or call 901-468-3097. That's the podcast center at gmail.com or 901-468-3097. Amateur and professional talk show hosts encouraged to apply.
Required orientation is Saturday, April 13th, or you can take it online.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, picturing yourself moving in and calling it home, and quite another navigating the world of price negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. An agent who's a Realtor can make understanding that world easier. Realtors have the expertise, access to proprietary data, and tools to help you get from imagining living somewhere to actually doing it. That's the kind of help we can provide. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:31 the time. That was a blast from the past. How cool was that?
Yeah, it's cool, man.
I mean, it's so interesting. Now, Dorsey obviously is a Memphian and has the connections obviously here to the city, but the friendship he has with the Henry family and then CJ and Xavier both having the Memphis connections. One having played for the Tigers, one having played for the Grizzlies. That was really cool.
Well, the coincidental timing of it all, of that Coach Cal leaves a school this week at the same time that the Henrys are in town, who, again, Xavier committed to Memphis, CJ already here at the time, then Cal leaves, and they both end up going to Kansas rather than following him to Kentucky. But that's really cool to hear that Xavier, it's weird because you would think, big-time college basketball player, you would think Kentucky would be one of the schools,
right.
But he just, the idea that Kentucky just wasn't really a place that he ever really thought of. Because you think everybody, Kentucky, that Kentucky can get whoever they want.
Well, the other thing is that we always hear that players, and I think this is true for the most part, they go where the coach is. There will be a lot of those Kentucky dudes that are either coming in as freshmen or transfer guys or guys that have eligibility and are returning that will end up with him in Arkansas. But that's another thing with Xavier. It wasn't all about John Calipari. If it was, he would have went with him to Kentucky. I mean, there were other guys that did. I remember being out here interviewing Eric Bledsoe at the Peabody. He had come up. They drove him up from Birmingham. He was coming to Memphis to play for Cal, and then Cal leaves to go to Kentucky, ends up with him at Kentucky.
DeMarcus Cousins, too.
Right.
So I didn't realize that was all going on during, the McDonald's All-American game where these guys were all together. Yeah. And it's all happening. That's weird. They're all together. Cal's doing his thing. Cal's calling him, telling him first he's staying in Memphis. Then he's calling him back, telling him, I'm going to Kentucky, trying to get him to go there. They're discussing amongst themselves about what's going on. It's just, God, that had to be a weird situation altogether.
By the way, with the Mark Pope news at Kentucky that leaves the BYU job open, it's a good job. It's not a great job. Let's not get crazy here. But one of the names that had popped up was Mark Madsen. Mark Madsen has already said, thanks but no thanks. I like it at Cal. I'm staying at Cal. Time now for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It is 10 in a row. It's the game show that has swept the nation. Jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines if you'd like to participate. You'd like to give it a shot to win a great prize package, which we'll tell you about in a second. 901-360-8255. 10 in a row is brought to you by the Owner's Box. You want to watch the Masters this weekend? You want to do so with great food and drink and a great atmosphere? Head up to the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, in the Lakeland Town Square. Fun place, exciting, friendly, and is very, very comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games. All over-the-wall taps for all your favorite beers, including non-alcoholic, local craft beers. In front of the wall, you got the full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. They also have an upscale menu, and they have great lunch specials every single day. Well, Monday through Friday from 11 till 3, including some great chicken wings and buffalo chicken wraps. You can get the meatball sliders or the cheeseburger sliders, quesadillas, and chicken salads. That's grilled chicken salads, jalapeno, BLT, all types of different sandwiches and salads that you can get for lunch from 11 to 3, Monday through Friday at the Owner's Box Sports Grill. Now, if you want an event, you want to have a little event there, you can call them and find out about that. They have daily specials every day. You've found all the sports and all the food and drink you need in one place. It's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. All right, what are the folks playing for today?
We've got a $50 gift certificate to Napa Cafe, $25 to Sunrise, a couple of Malco movie passes, and a free haircut from Supercuts.
All right, 360-8255. Let's go, folks. Here's the question. It's pretty simple. It's Masters Week. You knew I'd come up with the question about the Masters, and I made it about as easy as I could for you, if you know a little bit about the Masters. Masters winners, yes or no? I'll give you a name. If they won the Masters at least one time, it's a yes. If not, it's a no.
360-8255, 360-8255. The Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines to play 10 in a row. Again, $50 to Napa Cafe, $25 to Sunrise. Couple of Malco movie passes and a free haircut from Supercuts, all going to the winner of 10 in a row. The Tiger Woods right back out there already for round number 2 after completing round number 1 this morning. It is finish of the round 1. He shot 2 over at his remaining hole, so he's 1 over for the tournament, but he is back out there as round 2 is underway for a lot of guys, and hopefully they can get it all completed today and be on schedule as they get ready to go into the weekend tomorrow.
Well, that's what you want, right? If you're Tiger Woods and you have to play 23 holes, right? You haven't played a lot of golf. You go out early in the morning to complete round 1. You want to be back out there and continue. You don't want this long break where you sit down or have to go back out to the range and readjust and warm up again. You want to get right back out there, get on the horse, so to speak, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I'd imagine him sitting around getting tight is not a good thing.
No.
It's probably some aching body parts. But he is out there underway in round number 2 as they get things going on day number 2. All right, first up for 10 in a row is Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, what's up, guys? Which question again, Greg?
It's Masters winners, yes or no? If they won,
okay.
It's a yes. If not, it's a no. Vijay Singh.
Yes.
Trevor Immelman.
Yes.
Dustin Johnson.
Yes.
Nick Faldo.
Yes.
Colin Morikawa.
No.
Patrick Reed.
Yes.
Tom Weiskopf.
No.
Curtis Strange.
No.
Jason Day.
No.
Ray Floyd.
Yes.
That's a winner. Kevin knows his golf.
Kevin, congratulations, sir. You are a winner. Hold on. Zach will take care of you, let you know how you're going to get your prizes.
All right, lines are packed. You want to do a second chance opportunity here?
Why not? I'm in a good mood today.
Okay. Who's first?
George is up. What's up, George?
Another big golf
Hey,
fan.
guys.
Hey, George.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Brad Faxon.
No.
Hale Irwin.
No.
Brooks Koepka.
No.
Jordan Spieth.
Yes.
Craig Stadler.
Yes.
Fred Couples.
Yes.
Rory McIlroy.
No.
Sandy Lyle.
Yes.
Mike Weir.
Yes.
Zach Johnson.
Yes.
George knows his golf. Great job, guys. Congratulations, George.
I had a feeling we would get that would be pretty quick.
Yes.
Masters is always easy because the guys play forever. So you know, like when you see guys who are playing, you're like, wait a second, why is that guy still playing? Well, you know he had to win.
Well, we had not had a winner the last couple of weeks in 10 in a row. And that upsets me because we want you to win each and every week. And again, we thank the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, the sponsor of 10 in a row. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we will wrap it up, our final segment. We do have an opportunity for you as we had a lot of guests today, but if you want to get something off your mind on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines, you can at 901-360-8255. We'll update you on what's going on at Augusta National. I think they are finally complete, round 1, or are they still finishing up?
No, round 1 is officially done now.
Okay, round 2 is underway.
Finished.
All right, so we'll give you an update on that. Talk a little Grizzlies again. They have 2 more games to go. We have not given away our third-hour tickets, so that's coming up as well. And again, we'll be giving away tickets for the Grizz and the Lakers tonight, the Grizz and the Nuggets on Sunday throughout the day here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, picturing yourself moving in and calling it home, and quite another navigating the world of price negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. An agent who's a Realtor can make understanding that world easier. Realtors have the expertise, access to proprietary data, and tools to help you get from imagining living somewhere to actually doing it. That's the kind of help we can provide. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Oh, honey, it's our favorite leaf filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay, of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you.
Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing?
That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/CBS to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/CBS and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:45 the time. Our final segment here today, our final segment this week on Sports 56 Mornings. Still have another pair of tickets to give away. The Grizzlies and the Lakers tonight, the Grizzlies and the Nuggets on Sunday. And again, when you take a peek at the NBA standings, it looks like both these games will be quite important. Why is this on my... We're getting play-by-play from the Masters. But when you look at it, it looks like both those games will be important for the Grizzlies' opponents. So they'll take it serious. That means you'll probably see the stars. Have you seen an injury list yet for the Lakers for tonight? Injury report?
I have not seen what they are doing, what Anthony Davis' situation is.
How about LeBron? Expected to play, correct?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, he missed a game here recently in the last week.
Very important game for them. So.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, again, for fans, you don't want to go out and have to, you have no chance. You don't have the team that you expected. That's understandable. As I said yesterday, I still give a lot of credit to those guys. They're going out there. They're playing. Look, a lot of these guys are playing for a spot on a roster, whether it be with the Grizzlies or with another team in the NBA. You have all types of players, from guys that signed 10 days to two-way guys that weren't two-ways before the beginning of the season, ended up becoming two-way guys for the Grizzlies. Looking at players looking at being in the rotation for the Grizzlies next year, making a name for themselves quickly, like G.G. Jackson, a rookie, or Vince Williams Jr., obviously, before he went down with an injury. Of course, everybody gets injured on this team. So there's a lot of things that you look at with this team, and you come to the conclusion that while they didn't really have the mindset, I think, that, if we lose, it's the end of the world, right? Because we know where we are in the standings. But they certainly went out there to play hard, to play to win, to play for jobs. And that tells me a lot about that coach and that coaching staff. And I've certainly been a proponent and a backer and supporter of Taylor Jenkins when people early in the season were on his case because they were struggling to win a game. But I look at the hand he was dealt. And when you're talking about 50-plus different starting lineups and 33 different players, I think he did an incredible job. And that staff did an incredible job dealing with players and getting them ready for games. Sometimes they were blown out, but a lot of times, they were competitive, ended up losing in the end just because of pure talent. They just didn't have enough.
So Anthony Davis is probable for today. LeBron is questionable as well.
Yeah, which I assume, because the other night I think LeBron
He missed a game recently, I know that.
The other night he hadn't showed up at the arena like 2 hours before the game, and they were questioning, but he still played in that one, so I'm good. And the thing is, the Lakers lose all of the tiebreakers with both Golden State and Sacramento. So for them to have a chance to move out of the 10 spot, they're going to have to win probably both the games. They still obviously need help, and those other teams have to lose a game, but they lose the three-way tiebreaker. They lose the tiebreaker against Sacramento. They lose tiebreaker against Golden State. They lose all of the tiebreakers as far as that is concerned. But we'll see. But I would guess that LeBron will play tonight. At the Masters, again, DeChambeau has not gone around two. Scotty Scheffler's not gone around two. Nicholas Højgaard is out there. He's at 5 under par still. He is through 4 holes. Max Homa has just gotten his second round started. He's with Tiger Woods. He's still at 5 under par, playing after having played 1 hole. There's not anybody so far here early in round 2 really making any sort of big moves. I don't know if that means the conditions are tough or whatever, but there's early on. Again, not a ton of guys out on the course, but some are through the front 9 now, and nobody really making any sort of shooting any sort of really good scores. So that may mean there's some tough conditions out there. Cameron Davis did get to 2 under on his round, but he has since given 2 back. So he's even par through the front 9 of his round.
So he's 3 under now overall?
Yes. Interesting. Cameron, we have 3 Camerons under par. Cameron Davis is the best. You got Cameron Young on the first page of the leaderboard as well. He is at 2 under. I think he is.
I think so.
Yes.
And then Cam Smith.
No, Cameron Young has actually gotten to 3 under now.
Good. He's one of my picks.
And then Cameron Smith is at 1 under par. So the Camerons, the 3 Camerons. My 3 Camerons.
Cameron, let my people go.
My 3 Camerons are combined 7 under par. They're tied with Bryson. They're tied with the Brysons.
I think Bryson, the only Bryson in the field. So I'm looking at the monitor here in our studio, and I'm looking at the trees, and they're blowing around a little bit, but not much. I don't think the wind is a problem. Like they said, it could be this morning, and I know it absolutely was yesterday. But the pin placement, I haven't had a chance to really look at what they have done with the pin placement. I know they purposely yesterday made the pin placement a lot easier because of what they figured was going to be a very wet day. It ended up not raining a lot in Augusta, but it was so windy that they didn't want to make it so tumultuous for them to go up against the elements. So they made it a little bit easier with pin placement. You had guys like DeChambeau and Scheffler who shot low. So I would imagine the pin placements are a little bit tougher today. The winds are a little bit less, but they are still blowing. And I would think it's a little bit tougher today. And as it completely dries up the weekend, those greens are going to be much, much faster. So I think the challenge of Augusta National and what it normally is will certainly show up.
Yeah, Matt Texan says that it's all they're talking about on the broadcast is how windy it is. So I guess the winds are blowing.
I'm looking and I'm not seeing it, but
I need to. Well, Jason Day doesn't have the hammer pants on today. Those are the ones that dictate the wind.
Yeah, what about those pants, man?
He's
seemed like he was carrying like 8 pounds of stuff in the pockets of those pants.
That's his interesting new look. He doesn't have the real baggy ones on today, though. He's got some weird sweater on though today that he's going with.
So remember yesterday I asked you about who would be a popular winner and who wouldn't be, and then you talked about obviously Rory completing the career slam. Ricky Fowler, we talked about winning the par 3 contest. Apparently the jinx continues as he was not good yesterday whatsoever. But Bryson DeChambeau, who I like, certainly has detractors for a couple of reasons. One, that he's a live golfer, and two, that he's just Bryson DeChambeau. He's like Thomas Dolby, blinded me with science. But yet here he is leading. That would probably be a less than popular winner, I would think. Wouldn't you say?
I mean, he's certainly not as popular as many others, but it's not like people are going to be like booing him to win.
Certainly not at Augusta. Those fans are the greatest golf fans in the world. This isn't Phoenix, okay? This isn't the 16th hole at Phoenix. This isn't going crazy. These are different fans altogether. Believe me, I've been there. I know these fans. I know how they react. I listen to what people say when describing a fan at the Masters. They are very complimentary of everybody. It's very rare that you'll hear anybody say anything negative. But in the golf world out there, for fans just in general, it probably wouldn't be the most popular win. I just think there's some people who just don't like the guy. I like him. I'm
one of the people that don't like him, but I don't get it. If he wins the Masters, I'm not going to be like pissed about it.
No, I'm not saying anybody's going to be pissed, but they're going to be like, oh gosh, all the players that can win, he won.
It was strange the other day in the par 3 contest to see when they were wrapping up, because Brooks Koepka was in the group right in front of DeChambeau. So he just wrapped up. He's standing there with got his baby that he's holding on to, and DeChambeau and his group are coming up to the 9th green, and there's Bryson DeChambeau coming over there, like pinching the face of Brooks Koepka's baby and talking. I mean, I'm like, boy, these two have come a long, long way. Liv has united these two guys together. Like, this is crazy. Bryson DeChambeau's over there doing googly goo to Brooks Koepka's baby while Brooks is holding on to him. What world do we live in now that this is the relationship between these two guys?
See, that's a great point. If an entity, in this case Liv, is able to bring together Koepka and DeChambeau, then why can't somebody figure out a way to bring together Liv and the PGA Tour and bring it all together? The preceding announcement made on behalf of Major League Baseball.
So what we're going to do? Put Rory and all the Liv guys in one room and tell them to hash it out, or what?
It's not up to the players. It's to get those dudes in suits, the executives, to get it together and figure something out.
All right, we've got one more pair of tickets. We're going to give away a pair of tickets for the Sunday game, final game of the regular season. Grizzlies against the Denver Nuggets, 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday down at FedEx Forum, as the defending champions will be here in town, possibly playing to earn the number 1 overall seed in the Western Conference. But they will be here Sunday afternoon, 2:30 game. Caller number 3. 360-8255. 360-8255. A pair of tickets for the Grizzlies and Nuggets on Sunday. Caller number 3 on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line to get those tickets for the Grizzlies and the Nuggets. Again, we'll be giving away tickets all day long for tonight's game, for Sunday's game, for you to go see the Grizzlies before the regular season comes to an end.
And just to wrap things up, busy weekend local sports-wise. The Memphis Tigers begin a 3-game weekend series on the baseball diamond as they'll host UTSA, their first ever meeting with the Roadrunners, starting tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, again at FedEx Park, Avron Fogelman Field. Ole Miss will have its annual Grove Bowl tomorrow in Oxford. That should be a fun time. And you'll be on the call of the Memphis Showboats game on the road, as Memphis will be taking on the Birmingham Stallions. Also, Memphis 901 FC on the road. They'll play in Loudoun, Virginia, try to get back to their winning ways. They won their opener, then lost 3 straight. The Redbirds are at home this weekend at AutoZone Park. So busy weekend as far as local sports is concerned. We want to thank you, folks. Great week. We had some great guests. Again, if you missed any of our guests or want to listen to our segments or a full hour or two of the show, you can always go back to our website, sportsmemphis.com. You can listen to any of the shows. We break them down by hour, and then we have certain guests that are in the featured audio segment.
You want to go watch the Masters? You want to go watch any of the great action going on this weekend? Great place to do it. East Coast Wings and Grill. Got plenty of TVs that certainly will be showing the Masters, baseball action, showboats, UFL. All of that will be on over at East Coast Wings and Grill. You could go watch it while enjoying some great food and great drinks. 60 different flavors of wings to choose from. You can also, of course, enjoy maybe one of their delicious burgers or a flatbread. You can enjoy a great drink while you're there. So they've got 24 draft beers on tap, including many local beers, plus any other drinks that you need. Happy hour from 3:36, a great day today to get over there, watch the Masters, enjoy some happy hour, 2 for 1 on the draft beers, bucket specials, and more that you can take advantage of. They've got the rewards program as well, so you can check them out. East Coast Wings and Grill, located off Highway 64, Kate Hyde Boulevard, runs right between Lowe's and Walmart there off 64 in Bartlett. That's where you'll find great wings, great food, great drinks. East Coast Wings and Grill.
I think we have our winner for the tickets. Big shout out to our great guests today, John Varlas, Tim Pernetti, the new commissioner of the American Conference, Bob Holt, Dorsey Sims III, C.J. Henry, and Xavier Henry. Again, thanks to you folks. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next for Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd. I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you again on Monday.